Hello, 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 and welcome to another episode of Break the Cycle with me, your host, Joshua Smith. I hope everyone's having a wonderful
Thursday.
Thursday. It's Thursday.
It almost fooled me.
It almost fooled you.
Yep.
Yeah, because we didn't do a show on Tuesday.
I was like, yeah.
That's why. We got some people in the chat already hanging out. We appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with us on this Thursday night. We got a great show for you to talk about. We didn't do a show on Tuesday. Had some personal shit going on. And so I couldn't do a show Tuesday. But the cool thing is that we have a lot to talk about now. The Christ is King stuff, of course, and the Daily Wire and Steven Crowder and all this great fun drama with all these sobbing millionaires. We're gonna drag them tonight. Of course,
Moscow
I
attack.
don't think
Yeah.
we're live on Rumble. It's not
that's not good.
loading for me right now.
That's not good if we're not live on Rumble.
Yeah.
Should be live on Rumble though.
Could be. But... Oh, there we go.
We're live on Rumble.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, there we go.
Yep, there it is.
It took forever.
Guys, we are live on Rumble, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and Kick, and Odyssey. So if whatever your favorite platform is, make sure you choose us there. We go live from all these platforms now. 6. We will add some more. Google Fiber's coming in next week. We'll have Google Fiber, so we'll be able to do...
Yes.
We'll have 5 gig internet. We'll be able to do... I mean, we could do 20, 30, 40 platforms. Maybe we'll just do every platform in the world next time. It's going to be a lot of programming before the show.
I'm going to send you a ton of videos. We'll crash it.
Yeah. Before we get too far into this, guys, go check out toplobster.com, the man, the myth, the legend, my good friend and partner on Break the Cycle, where you can get all kinds of great hats, backpacks, hoodies, leggings, a custom Break the Cycle pillow for your couch stream so you can cuddle with us while you watch our show. Use BTC at checkout for a 30% discount, or join the Patreon, subscribe, become a member of the YouTube channel under all of our videos by hitting the join link. Or you can get into a private Discord server and get up to 30% off of Top's new shit before it goes to the general public. 2 weeks before it goes to the general public. If he ever comes back in there, I'm going to talk to him this week.
He's busy being the mayor of Baltimore.
Yeah, he is busy. He is busy being the mayor of Baltimore right now, for sure. Absolutely.
Press conferences with the jackets on and stuff.
Yeah.
And those Nephilim won't kill themselves.
Let's check in with my great co-host, Mr. Ryan Kurtzer. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good. It's been weird. We're like being forced to be back at the office most of the week, so there's just like 2 hours of my time in the car now, and that sucks.
Yeah, that sucks, dude. But, what are you going to do? Everyone get some yep cocks in the chat for our good friend Ryan. He needs yep cocks. He hasn't had any yep cocks in a while. We do stream to Twitch now, so you should be getting all kinds of yep cocks.
Yeah, we can do the actual yep cocks on Twitch.
Yeah, we can do real yep cocks now.
We can.
You guys can give Ryan real cocks now.
Yeah, I do like the clever
does like the real
adaptations
cock.
on YouTube and whatnot, but I also do like just cocks in general.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Our other wonderful co-host, Mr. AJ. Sir, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing so good. I'm better than average. Doing better than average tonight.
Are you trying to say you're bigger than average?
Listen, we talked about this
he's
before the
well
show.
below
I'm proud of
average.
you guys. We've made some purchases. We made some manly purchases. I'm very proud of you.
Oh, yeah. I got myself a new strip lower to start building a new build. He's very excited about that. Our good friend Ryan over here bought a punching bag.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nice punching bag.
They're both home defense weapons.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
developing your home
Somebody
defense.
breaks in, he'll just
I'm
beat
happy
him
about
over the
that.
head with it.
Yeah. We like it. We appreciate it. We're happy to see you start training. We still are going to punch Ryan in the face on the show sometime. Yes.
Correct.
Yeah. 100%. You're going to take your first real shot to the face from either me or AJ. You have to pick which one you want. Who would you pick if you had to
Probably
pick?
you.
You'd pick me over AJ?
Probably.
Wow. That's brave.
Very brave, buddy.
Have you seen the size of AJ's fucking arms?
Yeah, they're pretty big.
Yeah, they're chunky.
Oh, yeah, I'm lifting again. Yeah, I'm lifting again.
It looks like it.
I don't fit in larges anymore. This shirt's pretty tight.
It looks like it, dude.
Listen, don't look down here.
My man just drinks.
Just
All this
look
dude,
here.
all this dude does is drink mead and go to the gym.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all he does. He's a fucking monster.
Oh,
beast,
we're doing the bench competition at the fair this year.
Oh.
Not master novice, like old people class novice will be me. I'm 45.
I'm 40.
Whatever class it is. Yeah.
I think I'd be in that.
I think it's over 40.
Is it over 40?
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
master novice.
I'll
or
do
something.
it. Fuck it.
Yeah.
I always surprise people because I don't like work out, but I fucking have like blue collar strength.
Come
like,
throw up 300 pounds.
Yeah, I got like retard blue collar strength. You know what I mean? Just
Let's do it.
yeah, I'm down. Like,
It'll be fun.
Like last year when I wrecked my motorcycle at 40 miles an hour and got up and walked away from it like a man. fucking man. My body's it's adamantium in there, dude. You know what I mean? I started
Just put your brain back in your skull. And
yeah,
just kinda put some tape on
well,
it.
I had the helmet on. If I didn't have the helmet on, I wouldn't have got it.
Oh yeah, the helmet came off though, didn't it?
Sort
come
of,
off
yeah,
oh,
eventually, but
Almost
not.
came off in the
yeah,
crash.
it just came off my chin and stuff. It was still, yeah, it did come off, but
It took the impact.
It took the impact.
That's
And
important. part.
scraped half the side of the helmet off before it came off. So it was pretty brutal, dude. It knocked me out through the helmet. So
Well, the testosterone's increasing on this show, and that's good. It's a good sign.
yeah, we keep doing the good things.
I love it.
Things that you're supposed to do. Guys, we got a great guest for you tonight. He's all about that liberty and health. Mr. Kyle Matovcik. I always fuck it up every time. No, I'm like one of the people that gets it right almost.
Is it?
It's not Bosnian. You're not Bosnian, are you, Kyle?
No, Polish, Czech, and Italian.
Yeah.
But no, I appreciate you guys having me on. That's Matovcik.
Matovcik,
So I've heard my dad say it both ways, but we typically go with Matovcik.
Got it.
But I just want to make sure I got this out in the beginning of the show. Josh, I really appreciate you having me on, brother. And I've been a big fan of the show for quite a while. And I still watch your stuff pretty frequently. So pretty cool to be here, man.
Yeah, you guys are doing another show now too. You're not just doing the Liberty Health show. What's the new show you guys are doing with all the Nephilims there?
So I actually do 3. One I do a little bit less frequently now, unfortunately, because my band normally practices tonight. But so yeah, I do in Liberty and Health, 5 till midnight with the guys from Biting the Bullet, Adam and Utter, and Sam Urban. And then I also do Cognitive Vigilance with Brandy Bishop and Ren, who I know you've beef with Brandy a little bit, but
I don't give a shit. I'll say it proudly. I'll say it loudly and proudly.
I normally say, yeah, I'm not my sister's keeper. She's like my younger sister, even though she's older than me, that I just kind of have to like apologize for. Because every single time she tweets something, everybody's in my DMs, dude, what the fuck's she talking about? Like,
have you ever seen?
I just work here, man.
Have you guys ever seen the white stand-up comedian that is talking to the black guy and he has another black guy on stage with him that says the N-word for him every time he points at him?
That's a
He's
great
like,
bit.
I'll have your money when I have your money, and he points at the black guy. And the black guy's like, right? And he's like, the other black guy like doesn't know what to do. It's hilarious because he's got like this big black guy saying the N-word for him. Like, I'm gonna get Top Lobster to be the guy who tells women to control their hole for me. Like, I'm just gonna point at Top and be like, Top or like, one of the guys from the Tower Gang.
Say on repeat, repeal the 19th Amendment.
Control your hole. Yeah, repeal the 19th Amendment. Just have them say it for me.
This past week, I had a tweet that I don't want to say it went viral, but it definitely got over 200,000 impressions. And it was something having to do with the women's prefrontal cortex, because it's been a meme going around lately. So I think I said, women will fuck 20 or 30 dudes in their late teens and early 20s, and then they'll decide to make a dude they want to marry wait for sex. And I said, it must be that underdeveloped prefrontal cortex, because that's what women always say instead of taking accountability. So, that went super viral, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, I guess it was literally like a throwaway tweet. But somebody had said, oh, well, didn't you whore around or something like that? It was Force Mommy. And to that I said, well, women should hold their own accountable for them opening their legs for any dude that walks past. So, if you want to have this, culturally conservative society, which I think is a good thing, then women are going to have to hold higher expectations for other women. It can't just be dudes saying, we're going to abstain from all this.
Yeah, unfortunately, the newer generation of women are like competing to see how many the body count they can get. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's like the worst fucking competition you could possibly ever have in your entire life is to sleep with as many people as possible. It's just a fucking dumb, shitty thing. And let me tell you, as somebody who's 41 and been through a lot of relationships, I wish now at 40 I would have waited. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, fuck yeah, dude. Hell yeah.
Well, and why do people
chasing that shit the rest of your life, dude?
Imagine
people
not waiting.
Yeah, well,
what did he say?
he said,
Imagine not waiting.
But why do they? So, in my day, it was what's your number. Now it's body count.
Yeah.
I don't know that I like the connotation there.
If you're saying it,
Listen, body count's a pretty good band if you're familiar
yeah,
with
it's
it.
a good band.
Yeah.
But it's also, if you say what's your body count, like South Chicago, it could go either way.
Yeah, like I
There was
don't.
a great
Well,
street
the only way that
interview
some of the only
with,
way
like-
that some of those women know which kid they're referring to is they start using the last names then instead of the first name.
Right. Yeah, that's how we
I
separate.
mean, yeah, I didn't murder them. Like we had a great time. And it was it ended mutually.
Yeah.
It's not
there was a great little street interview with, I think it was some like guy that was in like the Italian mafia or something. I don't know, but he had that
He
kind
had
of
a
look.
body count.
And somebody asked him, "What's your body count?"
He's like,
And
4.
He was like, yeah. He was like 4, maybe 5. And then they clarified what they were talking about, and he just walked away.
I don't like the connotation.
You know, it's really funny. My grandfather, my mom's dad, was Italian and Portuguese, and but he adopted my mother. He like married my grandma when my mom was like 6 months old, and then adopted her, and it's just the only grandpa we ever knew. I mean, that was it. You know, this Floyd Francisco, that was our guy, right? And his dad, Clarence, was the Italian man, and his mom was Portuguese. And when he passed away, I was really little, but I remember him very clearly. He had really bad dementia and lived with my grandma. So when I was over there, he'd be screaming and yelling and scary shit, you know?
Yeah.
But when we went to his funeral, there were men standing around his coffin in trench coats that didn't speak English, bro.
Yep.
Like around his coffin. And I remember my mom
that's
going,
cool.
That's pretty straight. That's pretty weird, huh? I'm like, yeah, it's pretty weird, but I think we probably had some mob in the family somewhere. I know that my grandfather's family also owned like one of the olive farms that became Bertolli.
Oh, okay.
Bertolli.
Yeah.
So I could have been like the olive heir.
Yeah.
Because Bertolli's like the
Yeah.
biggest olive company in the entire world. Like I could have been the fucking olive heir.
Do you
They
guys
will come
know
and
the
pay their
olive oil
respects.
conspiracy?
No.
So basically, the olive oil industry is like controlled by the Italian mafia, and
See, this makes
Almost-
sense now.
Oh,
Yeah.
it does.
almost
It does.
all of the olive oil we get in the United States isn't actually olive oil. It's just like vegetable oil that's dyed, because they make much higher margins on that, and
I don't believe
they
that.
don't have enough like actual olive oil to fill demand, and so they just
So they're stepping on it, basically. They're mixing it.
Bertolli,
Yeah,
Bertolli
they're
is made in
basically-
America.
they're
Bertolli
basically
is made in
cutting
America,
it.
dog. First of all, second of all, you can taste the difference in vegetable. I mean, normal people can taste the difference between all.
No, I think he's saying it's mixed.
Yeah,
You're
they-
saying it's
not
added.
just like pure vegetable oil. They do some stuff to fluff it up.
Well, this is right up Kyle's alley
Yeah.
because he's the
Interesting.
seed
He's
oil
the
guy.
seed oil dude.
What
Let's-
have you
let's find
See it all,
out.
bro.
have you
Yeah.
heard about this conspiracy, Kyle? Is this a thing?
I have not heard about this conspiracy, to be completely honest with you, but I know that sometimes there are olive oils that do have other oils in them, because you got to figure your canola oil, your soybean oil,
Yeah.
different kinds of seed oils are typically a little bit cheaper to make than olive oils. But I think where people just get messed up when it comes to seed oils is that they blame them for a lot of health ills, reasonably so, because they are actually the largest contributor to overall caloric excess over the last couple decades. But where they lose the plot is saying, oh, well, they're inherently bad for you, when they're actually not. Like canola oil is actually cardioprotective. So they've done studies where they had, foods that they literally made with, let's say like a certain amount of palm kernel oil, which is saturated fat, and then some with like canola oil. And what they found is that like people's blood markers were more conductive for cardioprotectivity when they consumed actually more omega-6s or these seed oils that are supposed to be so bad for you. Now, if you're still getting like saturated fat, which I don't think is necessarily too bad, like if all you're eating is sticks of butter and like steaks all day, okay, that's probably not ideal, but nobody's really doing that other than like some carnivore people, which is actually kind of
Jordan
funny 'cause I'm wearing
Peterson.
a carnivore short.
Wait, are you
Yeah,
saying
right.
that? Are you saying that it's bad to eat steaks and butter all the time? That's what we do.
He doesn't eat.
I'm nervous right now.
Yeah.
If that's the only thing you eat, it's probably not optimal. But
Dude,
if you're getting some
I
other,
just got the fucking meat
All right.
sweats. Just hearing about it, dude.
well, I eat leaner steaks. I used to do the carnivore diet. I actually bought the shirt when I did the carnivore diet. But if you are going to have a high amount of saturated fat, then it's probably a good idea to like pair it off with some fiber, because fiber is able to get rid of some of the bad effects of excess saturated fat, where like the optimal saturated fat amount in the diet is like 7 to 12%. Once you start getting to like the 15% of your daily overall calories, then that can raise your LDL cholesterol, which a lifetime exposure to higher LDL cholesterol leads to more cardiovascular disease.
Well, I'm fucked, dude.
No, you'll be good, Josh. You look pretty good, at least from where I could see.
For a 40-year-old man, I'm doing all right.
Yeah,
Dude.
he's wearing a baggy sweatshirt.
I was on Tim Pool, and one of the comments was like, "This guy looks sick," and then I realized they were talking about my face.
Yeah.
And then I saw another comment that was like, "This guy really needs some facials or what?" Dude, they're fucking scars, bro. I had like
Yeah.
debilitating fucking acne, like terrible debilitating acne.
Scarring. It's
when I was a
scarring.
kid, dude, and my face is scarred to shit, like bad scarred.
Like, I think dudes think that looks cool. You know what I mean? Like, there's gonna be haters
Yeah.
online for that, but like, I see it, I'm just like, that's a guy
Dude,
that's fucking lived.
the meme
Lived.
ever since we were all kids is, chicks dig scars, man. Like
Yeah.
I got this one on my arm right here that goes down like my left bicep, and I'm like, dude, fuck yeah, like that looks cool, even though there's like no cool story behind it. Looks cool.
It's dope.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was not hurt by that at all because I'm like, dude, if you understood the like deformative acne that I had when I was a kid, you would understand that I look a lot better than I did when I was fucking covered in acne in my face. I never got acne on my body though. I got really lucky. I don't know why. It was only on
Facial.
just my face, dude. Only.
Yeah, the
Never
people,
got
Yeah, you
it.
should get
the
like,
people
back
making
and
those
zits.
comments probably have skincare routines.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. And Tim Pool's comments, yeah. Who knows? Speaking
That's
of,
the guy that wears a fucking beanie the whole time,
yeah, well,
covering his bald spot.
that beanie that keeps getting smaller and smaller.
I've been
Won't
on
talk
Tim's
about a
show.
certain
Look,
country.
Tim gets a lot of hate, and I think that Tim is wrong on a lot of shit, dude. And sometimes he's overbearing on a show.
Oh yeah,
He hasn't been like that with me. Have you
dude
noticed
just drinks way too much fucking
He
caffeine.
just fucking vibes with you.
Have you noticed it?
Yeah.
Like he doesn't get like that with me. Even when I bring up shit that he disagrees with, he doesn't
Yeah.
get like that with me. I don't know what it
I
is.
think he just does massive amounts of cocaine before he goes on, and then
He doesn't, dude. He
fucking-
sets, he's sitting there. Dude, so I show up there and he's sitting there on the computer on a laptop designing skate parks and shit, dude. Like he's fucking like all about skateboarding
Yeah,
outside of that shit. Like
that's his life.
that's his whole life, dude. They just built a fucking giant, like huge indoor skate park there, like a huge barn in the middle of nowhere. Fucking giant skate park. It's so sick.
I'm so
And-
jealous.
And so like I've been back on the show 3 times, even though like I'm anti-Israel, right? Like I'm anti-Zionist, and he's had me on the show. He's never gone at me like that. I've said the things that I want to say on there. You know what I mean?
Well, you're also anti-war with China, and
Yeah.
he could say he's anti-war all he likes, but listen, that dude spews neocon propaganda when it comes to China, just time and time again. Oh, China's buying all the farmland, which is verifiably, provably false.
Yeah.
The whole TikTok deal, China sending over fentanyl to kill Americans, which China banned producing fentanyl in 2019. So I mean, like all this, he just spews out all this stuff, and he says, "Oh, people aren't reading the bills." Okay, well, you don't read anything about China, and you peddle all the fucking military-industrial complex, CIA propaganda, talking about the Uyghur genocide, which there's no evidence for. I just had
Well, bro,
Carl's
dude,
on my
you
show.
can't just be saying that word on. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. No, go ahead. I thought Clint was gonna pop in like John Cena. Somebody say Wigger.
All right. But yeah, and also like the organ harvesting claims, where like he got a lot of this information from the basic CIA cutout, the Falun Gong, who runs the Epoch Times, who literally got money from the National Endowment for Democracy.
Right.
And still to this day, even his one co-host, Luke, is still peddling, who's supposed to be an anarchist, is still peddling CIA narratives, and he's been confronted about it, but continues to double down on it.
Yeah,
So, like,
yeah, and I don't
they're
think-
good dudes. Yeah, go.
I don't think we've really gotten into the China thing on Tim's show too much. I brought it. I know I brought it up in the first episode I was on with him, and I called it like it is. I said, look, Taiwan's a fucking tripwire for war with China. They absolutely do not have to make semiconductors there. I know that because I worked in the semiconductor industry in the United States. We actually make the fucking robots here in the United States, in Oregon, in Portland, Oregon. We make the fucking robots.
So that's a narrative. That's just the whole narrative.
The narrative is we must protect them because they're our ally, because they make 70%. They produce
Right,
70%
right.
of the world's fucking semiconductors. But the problem is the other 30% we already produce here in the United States, dude. Right? And tomorrow we could start doing it at AMD in Austin, Texas.
Yeah.
Tomorrow we already have cobalt,
Right.
we have silica, we
I
have all
think
the
they're
things
building
here.
a new facility to do that.
Yeah,
in
well,
Texas.
so like it's all just bullshit to go to war with China. That's really what it is. And I brought
Right.
that up.
Well,
Yeah.
all Biden's administration is focused on a war with China in the future. I mean, Anthony Blinken, Lloyd Austin, Jake Sullivan, they've been saying for, years now, like, hey, our main target is China. And this started with Obama's pivot to Asia in 2011. So really, all these right wingers who want to talk about how China's such a threat, you're doing the work of the worst people on the planet. Once again, Anthony Blinken, Joe Biden, Hillary Clinton, Barack Hussein, fucking Obama. And, high praise to Scott. I know somebody said Scott Horton in the chat, but high praise to Scott for calling them all China hawks right to their faces on the show. show because he was absolutely right.
God
it was
does
hilarious.
not give a fuck, dude.
No, he doesn't. Okay, but like, so also let's talk about some of the war games that have been gamed out when it comes to China. So Lyle Goldstein is somebody that's done Scott's show, and he's also talked about like these war games where like, okay, so China and Taiwan are about 7,000 or 8,000 miles away from the U.S. coast. If we were to go to war with China, they would sink our boats, and we would lose. I think it was 3,000 Americans
Minimum.
over the course of a month.
The war game was minimum 3,000, at least at least one aircraft carrier, which I thought was crazy that to like think about in modern
and they
times.
they never game out going to nuclear war. Well, why do you think that is? Do you
we
think Joe Biden, do you think Joe Biden or even Donald Trump would hesitate on hitting the nuclear button if we lost 3,000 Americans? Yeah. No, we don't need to do this. Taiwan and China can negotiate for their own, who owns who, the Democratic People's Republic of Taiwan can decide if they want to join China or not. But like, even in this whole situation, time is on China's side. Time isn't necessarily on the American side. So why don't we just, leave that whole deal alone? Let's build the chips here. But even beyond that, okay, so let's even assume that China goes and takes Taiwan and then nationalizes the chips. Okay, they import billions. I think it's $9 billion worth of food a year from the US because a lot of China's deserts. Right. So what do you think is more important? The fact that we could sit here and, watch porn on our phones, or that China needs to feed their people?
Well, here's the thing.
We can go without chips.
I had a big, long conversation with Scott about this recently, too. I think it was when I was getting ready to go on Tim Pool the first time. Because I was just like, China was hot. I really wanted to know. I wanted to know what I was talking about. I didn't want to just go out there and pull a bunch of shit out of my ass, and say dumb things. Because Tim Pool will call you on things, even if he's wrong, he's going to call you on things. You're going to need to be able to back them up. And so I talked to Scott about this, and it was funny because I kind of already knew this. I mean, if you really just logically think about this, what point I'm about to make, like you'll be like, yeah, that makes tons of fucking sense, right? The fact of the matter is that everybody in the United States that believes the CIA narrative, that believes the mainstream narrative that China is this all-powerful enemy of American people, right? Don't understand that like hundreds of millions of people in China are living in absolute abject poverty. The whole entire economy in China is paper thin, falling apart by the day. They have whole cities that have nobody living in them whatsoever. They have trains that go nowhere. There is no stops on some of these train tracks because they can't build the cities, dude. Okay. They are not a threat to us at all. And I know that like neocons get so mad when you say that. How could you say that about China? Oh, clutch pearls. But the truth is like China is not a threat to the United States at all. And we make them this big giant enemy because they don't go along with the West's fucking bullshit, right? We always bastardize and demonize any country that does that. Look at Libya, right? like Gaddafi was like, well, we're not gonna be part of your central banking system. What the fuck did they do to him? You know what I mean? And then every single person that we go in and take out is this huge, terrible dictator that was killing their own people and gassing their own people and putting them in torture chambers, and Saddam and Gaddafi and Assad and all these people, right? But at the end of the day, what it is they won't take part in our Western fucking tyranny, right? They won't take part in our central banking scheme, this fucking scheme that's meant to drain the wealth out of tax cattle in every country, right? They won't take part in that shit. They're already busy draining the wealth from their own people. They don't need to help the United States do it. And so yeah, they're an enemy of sorts to the ruling elite of the United States, the people who want them to be a part of their narrative and they refuse to be, right? So like it's the same with Russia, right? Like Russia is not an enemy to the United States, dude. They're just not. I don't care how mad that makes people. Like if we left Russia the fuck alone, Russia would leave us the fuck alone. Guaranteed, dude. They want nothing to do with our pride parades, dude. Like nothing to do. You know what I mean? And like, but we have to democratize all these countries, and but so that China's just another one of those things. I mean, if America was like, yo, we're like, and I talk about this with my presidential campaign, right? Like if we were just like, okay, no more foreign aid, no more warfare around the world. We're only going to do diplomatic trade deals that benefit Americans. If they don't, get the fuck out. I don't want anything to do with you. Nobody would fuck with us anymore.
We would enjoy the longest peaceful
in our
period
nation's history.
Peaceful and prosperous too.
Yes,
Yeah.
correct.
Like if you watch, it's kind of interesting. I'm sure you guys watched the Tucker interview with Putin.
Oh, yeah.
Where Putin had essentially just said like, oh, well, the U.S. kept making mistakes. Like when he was referring to the way that like we, committed a coup in Ukraine and sent them Javelin anti-tank missiles, which was done under Trump, because everyone wants to say, oh, this would never happen under Trump. No, he sent the lethal arms in and then called it a genocide, essentially, and then said, oh, well, I'll stop the war by making all the other countries pay their fair share. Like, okay, dude. But so, like, Putin doesn't want war with the West. I think he will if he feels like he has no other options.
There's no doubt.
But
And he will produce nukes. I mean, he will.
Yes,
there's no doubt about
absolutely.
that.
Do you blame him? Looking at the end of our barrel that's pointed at them 24/7. Do you blame him for being defensive?
No, dude. No way. Gorbachev never said that. He never said they wouldn't expand to the east, dude. He never said that. He never said that. No, he said he never said that when he was the fucking dementia-ridden on his deathbed. He said that. Like, we were so gone already. And then he's like, oh, yeah, actually, NATO never promised that they wouldn't expand to the east. Yeah, okay, dude, but you said for, decades that they did tell you that, and then all of a sudden in your dementia-riddled state, you're saying, no, they didn't actually say that, and that's the narrative that the CIA is going to run with, then probably I'm not going to believe it, okay? I'm sorry, but it's probably the opposite. The absolute opposite is true. And I'm not like a Russia supporter. You know what I mean? Like, if you say these things, people are like, oh, you support Russia. I'm like, no, I don't support Russia at all. Not at all, dude. Like, if we just fucking backed out of Russia and Ukraine and let them fight each other, I wouldn't give two shits about it, dude. I don't want American tax dollars being used to fund wars that I don't support. That's it. That's all I care about. Listen, if you care about a foreign war, if you really give a fuck about Ukraine, right? Or you really give a fuck about Taiwan, or you really give a fuck about Israel, stack up, motherfucker. Go fight the war yourself, dude. Stop taking money out of my kids' mouths to fund these fucking ridiculous wars against people that you've completely dehumanized in your own brain, okay? Somebody who's probably never been to fucking war, never even been in the military, right? When there's guys like me and AJ and other people that have been in the fucking military, that have seen the waste, that have seen...
Oh, not me.
Oh,
not
sorry.
me.
Oh, no, you weren't in the military.
No, but I have put on plates before.
Yeah, okay. Well,
hey,
okay.
friends, go put on some plate armor. Walk around for 3 hours.
Really level 4 place?
Yeah.
Anyways, but here's the thing. It's like this country's so good at just dehumanizing shit to win the narrative, right? Like, look at abortion, right? We've completely dehumanized 1 million children a year, dude. A fucking million. You want to talk about genocide, dude? Let's talk about fucking Sanger putting Planned Parenthoods in low-income black neighborhoods first, saying that that's where we're going to put the it was on purpose. It was a fucking purposeful try at genocide in the United States. And now I'm just supposed to support this as a women's rights issue? Shut the fuck up. And it's like the same with these war hawks, dude. None of them have ever been to war. None of them have ever been in the military. Half of them have never even been to another fucking country in their entire lives. You know what I mean? And they've completely dehumanized an entire nation of people. And then those are the same people that will call you a racist for making a dumb joke online. You know what I mean? Blows my fucking mind. These people are absolutely evil, 100%. I know AJ doesn't like that word. I'm gonna use it anyway.
As far as the abortion stuff goes, it's to me, it always seemed evident that the appropriate libertarian position was to be pro-life, because if we believe in, individual autonomy and responsibility, then you are responsible for the consequence of your actions. There isn't a single adult in the world who doesn't know, unless they're unconscious and not, cognitively able, that doesn't know that when you have sex with somebody, that the potential is a child. So if you're having sex with a person, then in my mind, at least, you are consenting to the potential of having a child. So therefore it is wrong to murder somebody, because life does begin at conception, right?
Yeah, I've always thought that was crazy. I've always thought that was a crazy narrative. Like you can't be a libertarian if you don't support the right to abortion. Right. And I'm like, I think as a libertarian, you should be 100% in line with protecting the rights of all people. Of all even listen, if I have to sit here and stump, right, or simp for the rights of people that took the COVID vaccine for a fucking donut. Okay. I find unborn children much more valuable. Much more valuable. So like when you start to try and dehumanize those kids, in my head, I'm like, oh, you want me to hate this unborn baby more than I hate the guy who fucking took the COVID jab for a donut and put a mask on and tried to tell the government to make my kids put masks on? It's gonna be a hard sell, dude. Because I'm not stupid, right? Like I'm not stupid enough to take the vax for a donut, right? So these people who destroyed my economy, destroyed the chance at like a life for my kids for 2 years, tried to have my kids muzzled, took my kids out of school, tried to make it so my kids couldn't fucking travel, tried to have me removed from my job for not taking the COVID vaccine. You want me to hate an unborn child more than these people? Hard sell, dude. I don't think it's gonna work. I don't think that's gonna work. Sorry. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so like, I'd rather simp for the rights of an unborn child than the rights of those people, than the rights of the anti-fascist mob that calls themselves anti-fascist but will shut you down for speech, right? Like these guys who are actual brown shirts. You know what I mean? Like don't tell me that they're not people, they're not humans, they're not children, they're fucking children. Oh, well, they're an embryo. Embryo lasts for less than 8 weeks, dude. Okay? By the time 8 weeks passes, most women are just finding out they're pregnant. So quit giving me the fucking embryo bullshit, dude. You know what I mean? Like,
listen. This changes. We're all fathers in this room. All right, Kyle, you dad yet?
No, not yet, unfortunately.
Okay.
Soon.
Keep it on the list.
We'll bully you. We'll bully you
into doing it.
We bully Ryan into procreating.
You don't have to. I have a picture of my wife on top of my PC.
Okay, you're married. You're married. You're on your way.
Yes.
You're on your way.
Yeah.
So, but after you're a father, I think things do change. Okay, and I want to be very clear with everybody. I used to have a different stance. Okay, I used to be totally pro, just do whatever. Okay, I don't want the government involved. That's where I'm at right now. Okay. I don't exactly know where I'm at. I think I am one of those wishy-washies that might be kind of in the middle, okay? I don't want to put moms in prison because that's what you're doing when you say that you
I want the doctors put.
I understand, but when you say you have a right to life, some people go, "Oh, okay, well then you want to make it illegal to have an abortion, then if the mom does it, then now you're in jail. You're putting a mother in jail." I mean, it gets ugly.
Like my perspective on this is that we unfortunately do have a culture that teaches women that, you know, this is their bodily autonomy. And Oren McIntyre, who I know you had on the show recently, posted a tweet.
Dude, that guy's great.
Yeah, he's great. But he had said something about like when the genders become political groups, then we have a problem. There's something akin to that. And basically what we have now is that the Democrats and the left really want to play to women's bodily autonomy, quote unquote, right? So basically women become a political, entire constituency because now Democrats tell them, look, your bodily autonomy is on the ballot. You have to vote Democrat because the Republicans are going to come take away your bodily autonomy. When really that's not your body. That body may be inside your body. But once again, when you consensually had sex with somebody, you accepted that pregnancy. Now, I'm not saying that you should just go firing a load in everybody, but like understand that if you consented to having sex with somebody, that's what it's for. That can happen, and you're responsible for that.
I do want to just footnote this real quick. Have you ever been to an abortion rally or seen an abortion rally?
Yes.
I find it very hard to believe that many of those women are having consensual sex. Very hard to believe.
Oh.
Fair enough. Very fair point.
We got a bunch of super chats here from a Brogate D's, the homie out of Pennsylvania.
My man.
$5 super chat. He said, if we're rating people by body count, does that make Toad a saint? Yeah, probably. Which sucks to say, but State of Zill, the homies, $10 super chat. Thanks, man. He said, Crisis King, keep doing a great job. Yeah, we're gonna get into the Crisis King debacle here in a minute. Abrogate again, a $10 super chat. Thanks, man. He said, we've got Green Berets on an island in a harbor 3 miles off mainland China doing military exercises. Wild tripwire. I wonder if most of them understand that they are there to be killed to start a war. Yeah, probably. What's up, Mac? Mac, the great Mac is in the chat. What's up, Mac? Thanks for hanging out with us. We appreciate it.
She's taking care of her own little kid right now.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude.
She put out a tweet. Yeah, it's awesome. And I remember she put out a tweet. This was probably like 6 months ago. And she said, "Oh, everybody's asked me to come do content or come on their show." And she said, "Oh, no, I'm just focusing on my kid." And I was like, rock and roll, man.
You can't
That's
argue
awesome.
that, dude. Trust me.
Yeah, no,
I get it. I took, my daughter was born back in December. We took some time off from the show. I had to be around the baby. You know what I mean? Like it's important. It's nothing is more important than your kids. So I think everybody who has kids, especially, will understand that. Also, a Brogate said that he got ripped off on a super chat. That the motherfucker took his money but didn't post it. So just put it in the chat. I'll read it. And you've donated enough money to the show, man. We appreciate you. Put it in the chat. I'll read it. Yeah, dude. I do find it real hard to believe that those pro-abortion activists are actually having consensual sex, dude. There's no not with any.
Let's see their bank accounts.
Yeah,
how many are being paid to be there? That's all.
No shit, dude.
You know.
Guys, Christ is King. This has been a crazy debacle. Okay, now, so let me kind of navigate this before AJ pops his top. Okay, of course I believe that Christ is King. Okay, I'm a Christian. It's like the central tenet of my religion. Okay, people that need to understand that this isn't just a saying, right? Like there's so many people out there that are like, oh, you're only saying that because you hate the Jews. No, that's not true. That's not true at all. In fact, I've been very clear on the show. I believe that actually, and if not mostly secretly, the Jews hate us, or at least my Savior, my Lord and Savior. Okay, and I think that Israel, the Zionist state of Israel, is bad, really bad. Okay, and I've laid those reasons out. Okay, I've laid out those ideas. I've told people why I think the state of Israel is bad. Does that mean I hate all the Jews? No, absolutely not. That's crazy. That's crazy talk. It's not something that I feel. I have friends in the Bay Area that I grew up with that are Jewish that are just fine people, but they can tell me whatever they want. I know that they hate my Savior, my Lord and Savior. So when you're saying Christ is King, there's this contingent online of people like James Lindsay, by the way, who's an atheist, trying to tell me that I should repent for my sins by saying my Lord and Savior is King, which is fucking hilarious, by the way.
Shout out to James Lindsay, my bro.
He's being a giant retard right now, about to.
I thought you were about to say he's being a giant Jew.
Well,
I totally thought you were saying he's being a giant Jew.
I almost did. No, he's being a giant retard. And here's the thing, like, everyone's using Nick Fuentes and the Groypers, right? Like, well, they're saying it because they hate the Jews. Okay, I don't give a fuck, dude. Like, if the Muslims started saying it at the Jews, right, tomorrow, I'd be like, hell yeah, dude, say it more. You know what I mean? Like, I want everybody professing. It says in the Bible, every knee will bend, every tongue will confess. Even if you don't want to, you will. It says that in the Bible, okay? Whether that's at end times, whether that's when you get to the other side, whatever it is, they say every knee will bow and every tongue will confess. So, like, I want to hear every tongue confess. I don't give a shit if it's Groypers. I don't care if it's the fucking anti-fascists and the communists who I hate, who I absolutely despise. They're my sworn enemies in my own country, okay? My sworn fucking enemies. I hate these people. And I want to hear them say Christ is King. And I don't care what their reasons are. Honest to God, I don't care. Because at the end of the day, more people are hearing and seeing Christ is King. So when you're telling me I should repent for saying Christ is King, no, dude, you should repent for trying to tell somebody who believes that Christ is King, is saying Christ is King, should repent for the sin of professing my Lord and Savior as my Lord and Savior. It makes no fucking sense whatsoever. It's only when they keep calling it a psyop. Oh, this is just the Christ is King psyop, dude. I'm like, no, the psyop is atheists and fucking Jewish people telling me that I should repent for calling my God, my Lord, the King, okay? That's the psyop, dude. There is no other psyop.
And the other weird thing is if everybody just like repeats it without like whatever weird malice is like tied to it by a fringe group of people, it's gonna lose that fringe meaning.
Listen, as a spokesman for all atheists on planet Earth, let me say this.
Yeah, you're gay.
Do you guys remember when everybody did the OK symbol?
Yes.
Like in pictures and like,
The same thing.
it's a white supremacist.
It's the
Oh
same
my
thing, dude.
God. Okay, they're not white supremacists. They're doing this to go, this pisses off white supremacists. This pisses off people that want to say I'm a white supremacist. Right. So they do that. They don't actually think that. I think when they're giving you shit for the Christ is King thing, I think they're like, he's getting mad.
Yeah.
I think it is kind of a side. I think making fun of you for saying Christ is King is them doing this symbol to you.
No, they're serious about this.
Really?
No,
James Lindsay.
because
I think
it's
if you
the
gave
same
truth
kind
serum
of
to these
group of
people,
people that
Ryan,
started
just a
the
minute,
Christ
just a
is
minute.
King thing
Ryan,
as the OK symbol.
Just listen. I think if you gave these people truth serum and sat them down in a chair, they'd be like, oh, I so fucking believe this shit.
Bro.
It's just a bunch of propaganda. I don't even care.
The Daily Wire fired Candace Owens.
Okay. So Candace Owens, though,
Well,
that's
we
a little
don't.
bit of
Do
an
we know
interesting
she got fired
situation.
over? There's an NDA, right?
No,
They,
you're
I
thinking of
don't think
Steven
they
Crowder
ever.
shit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't think they really disclose exactly why she was fired,
No.
but there is another tidbit of this. She and her husband actually had very, very close associations with Andrew Tate, funny enough. And Candace had lied about knowing him. You could find an old picture of her hanging out in the airport with Andrew and Tristan. And then she goes on and says, hey, I don't know anything about Andrew Tate, but though there's, hours and hours of Andrew Tate admitting to trafficking women, and then now, he's probably going to go to jail. So I do think there is a little bit of like, hey, we don't want that stink on us. Plus, he's also anti-Israel. And then Candace coming out just asking questions like any good Samaritan and honest, intellectually honest person should do when it comes to our foreign policy, considering Israel. And then I think just the culmination of all that, Ben Shapiro decided you can't have the dissidents here.
Yeah. It's
it's not Ben Shapiro that makes that decision.
No,
It
it's
would be
Jeremy
Jeremy
Boring.
Boring, sure.
who isn't Jewish, by the way.
Well, there's some speculation. We're going to check the early.
Even
line
if he
game.
was, he's a secular Jew, right?
He'd be a secular.
That,
Jew.
but this is back to Fuentes. This is Fuentes' fatal flaw. He thinks the Jews are controlling everything. No. It's a group of people that may be controlling things that happen to be Jewish. These aren't people that go to the synagogue. They're secular
their
Jews.
motivation.
They just
got
happen to
religion.
be Jewish.
They hide behind their Jewish identity to say that anytime you criticize them for doing something bad, they'll just call you an anti-Semite, shut you up. And you know what the worst part is? This is being successful. True. There's 30.
That's true.
There's 37 states. I'm pretty sure you guys talked about this on a show recently, but 37 states now have anti-BDS laws or some form of anti-Semitism laws. DeSantis, Trump signed this stuff into law. Who was it? Greg Abbott just signed a law. Kristi Noem just signed one. And it's like, dude, you guys aren't even in charge, and you're still like completely going against your own constituency here. Because the left wingers, other than like the radical left, they don't go after Israel. For the most part, Jewish people vote for Democrats. So like, they don't care about this stuff, but the right wingers punishing their own base because there are some dissident right wingers who are now saying like, we shouldn't support Israel anymore.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Whole thing is just bizarre to me, dude. Now all this stuff coming out with Steven Crowder, I don't know, following that at all. But we already knew he was going through the divorce. Ugly. And here's the thing, like, let me tell you, dude, divorce in America, if
It's
you
fucking ugly.
if you get divorced in America, you're an idiot. I mean, and I'm saying that as a man who's been divorced in America. Okay?
It's lawfare.
It's the
You get lawfare.
most disgusting, terrible. Like the family law system in the United States is one of the most corrupt law systems in the history of the world. Not just in the country, in the world, dude. Like it's it's somebody who's been through it. I've watched it wreck me. I mean, it almost took me out, dude. I'll be very, very honest to you. There was a time in my life where I was like, that's it. That's it. It's over for me, dude. Like because of the family law system, dude. Like it dragged me to a depth that nothing in my life, no matter how bad it had gotten, it was ever able to drag me to. It took my child away from me, basically, right? Made me a visitor in his life. Took almost every dollar I had. Almost every dollar. There was a time, and I don't know if I should be sharing this, but I don't talk about it very often. But there was a time when I was in nursing school. I went to LPN school in Portland, Oregon, just like a 14-month program where I was living in my car, dude, and I was doing like studying for finals under streetlights in my car and shit, right? Because of this system that had completely dragged me through the mud, right? Just because I wanted to be a dad. That's it. That was my crime. I wanted to be a father. I was completely shamed, treated like a visitor, treated like an ATM machine, and garnished half my wages. And I was trying to survive on like less than $1,000 a month while I was in college. You know what I mean? Like, and so like this system is so fucking corrupt, and that's why I highlight it with the presidential campaign, especially Title 4D, right? Because this is what's created this problem, and nobody like. Even like 80% of the men that have been through the family law system don't understand Title 4D, the Social Security Act, and what it's caused in America. Signed into law in 1971 by Gerald Ford. It actually pays the states. It pays the states from the federal government out of tax money to separate families, dude. That's what it does. And if you look at the fucking statistics, dude, if you look at the statistics, from 1971 to today, we went from 1 in 60 children living in a fatherless home to 1 in 4. To 1 in 4. That's an undeniable statistic. It's not just, oh, well, causation, correlation. It's fucking undeniable, dude, that we've caused this by Title 40 of the Social Security Act. We pay $1 for every 88 cents the state pays on these child welfare and child family law cases. Every 88 cents they spend, the federal government gives them back $1. That's how they pay these courts.
Is that the same law that in the 70s, right?
1970. It was signed into law in 1971.
Okay. Is that the same one?
1971 is a very interesting year.
I was gonna say, isn't that when they paid what?
year
It's it's cheaper to have no daddy in the house, right? Like you're paid for the kids, and it's so if you have a father that comes and starts living in the house, and you have a husband, then your welfare, your payment changes, right?
Right.
The money you get from the state changes.
Of course.
That's when that started, wasn't it?
Well, here's the thing. Well, there's so many
Because they
things
restructured it.
There's a bunch of other things at play here too. So, I hate to say the law is racist, right? But that's what it was aimed at first, right?
Yeah.
It's like back then, you'd look at like the family system in the United States and like, in the heads of most people be like, oh, white families are doing good in the, and the American government had introduced crack into the black neighborhoods. Yeah. So you have all these drug dealers and they start imposing these harsher sentences on black drug dealers to get men
but marriage rates were almost on parity with whites,
right,
in the 60s and 70s. A lot of people don't think that.
Right, they don't think
they
that,
think it's been bad
true.
Forever. No.
No.
Not really.
No, it was after
the marriage rates were about the same.
The real big difference was the crack epidemic.
Yep.
And that was all pushed by the United States in the 70s, especially, right? And through Vietnam and all that stuff. But so they used the crack, the drug laws, the sentencing. They continued this thing just kind of rolled downhill, but the huge part of it, the biggest part of it, was the 1971 act to pass the Social Security Act Title 4D. And nobody knows about it. Nobody even understands how the system works, dude. And it's like, no, we've created this by having a federal government that pays states to separate families purposely. Because look, they can't drain a man of his wealth through family law system if they're not getting paid to do it. They can't. Yeah. They wouldn't make any sense for them. You know what I mean?
It's really interesting that you keep bringing it back to 1971 because it was like 1969 to 1971 is when we went off the gold standard. Women were now allowed to get credit cards. And then also we introduced hormonal birth control, which a friend of mine, Tomas,
Thank you.
That's right.
Rollo always talks about how the nuclear bomb wasn't as innovative and as, earth-shattering as a creation as hormonal birth control.
Agree.
Because for the last 60 years, essentially, we've given the complete and total right to decide whether or not, they have a kid or not. And not to mention the way that changed their hormonal profile. I mean, we don't know what the long-term
cortisol system.
Right. We have no idea what the long-term consequences of this are by essentially giving women the right to decide whether or not, basically have full control over the birth. Where guys, nowadays we're essentially powerless, but also we had to. The reason why we could do a lot of these payments to families, kind of like you were bringing up, Josh, is because we went off a gold standard and we gave women, full access to society. I'm not saying that it should have their rights taken away, although we could definitely debate that, and that's neither here nor there. Yeah. But essentially. They completely changed the way that our societies ran, and we've never had a society really like the one that we have today.
No, because one of the fundamental axioms of human interaction, which is the risk associated with sex, was changed with the invention of birth control, like hormonal birth control. That is just such a dramatic shift in the nature of humanity itself. I don't think we can undersell the consequences of that.
Got some more.
Kyle, have you seen research on what happens when older married women that go off the pill, the relationship between their husbands? You
I've
about
heard
that?
people talk about this. I've never really looked into research. I'm familiar with the research from people like Dr. David Buss, Dr. Marty Hazelton, and some other doctors that kind of research this sort of stuff, like basically the art of or like attraction and stuff like that. But I've heard that like what tends to happen is that women prefer softer guys, so to speak, as in guys who don't quite have like masculine features. When they go off of hormonal birth control. But to kind of dive into a little bit more on science of like attraction, women when they're handed, I think it was Marty Hazelton who did this study where they gave women shirts that weren't sprayed with cologne or anything, but they were worn by men who were like more symmetrical and less symmetrical. And what
That's
they
the
found is
one.
that yes, so the women actually preferred the smell of the shirts of guys who were symmetrical versus less symmetrical. So like when it comes to like what they want to see is like a wide, shoulder to waist ratio on men. And attraction isn't entirely subjective, but it's not entirely objective either. But there are definitely objective attraction cues for men and women. But once again, like the data on this stuff, you could probably find studies done by like Dr. David Buss. Rob Henderson does a lot of social studies, or at least he like cites a lot. Marty Hazelton, and I'm missing a few others, but I know there are a bunch of others out there. There's just the kind of ones that come to mind.
Got it.
Ladies,
Well, let me give you a sample size of one. I'm going through this right now.
Okay, I got you.
So I can talk about this. It's weird. It's
you
weird.
doing okay, buddy?
Oh, it's
You gonna
strange.
dump some shit?
It's noticeable. My wife's not gonna watch the show, so yeah, we have two kids.
My wife doesn't watch
so
mine either. So
we're
don't worry.
done having kids.
My
so
wife
she's-
watches my show, dude.
So she's gone off oral birth control,
Mhm.
and I think we're about a year in. I could be
Yeah.
wrong. Maybe it's longer than that, but we're about a year in. I'm like, okay, this is where you're gonna notice things, and it is just maybe a little bit more arguments, maybe a little more tension
Do you wear
there.
cologne regularly? Do you wear cologne regularly?
No,
You
it's
should.
just me.
That'll help it.
I'll tell
Okay.
you. This
My
is-
ears are open.
my wife now is the first woman I've ever dated long term.
Yep.
That is not on.
So
Obviously,
she's never on it.
obviously never
Okay.
on hormonal birth control.
My,
Got it.
my wife never. My wife never was either because she is a.
In case you hadn't known,
My wife was on since just to be clear, she was on like teenage years, right?
yeah,
Started taking it, and then when
Yeah.
sexually active, and then basically her whole life.
life, right?
And we had a conversation about it. I go, hey, did anybody tell you what the long term consequences of this
No,
might be, or
of
what?
course not.
Nope,
They
absolutely
didn't
not.
know.
Just didn't want to have a baby.
So Julia, never taken it. Obviously, we've made 3 babies in the last 4 years.
Yeah.
Okay. She's never taken it, and I'll tell you, like, she's just she's Italian crazy, which is just normal Italian crazy.
Right.
But I've been with women who have come off of it, and
Yeah.
it's become like this crazy like ordeal every single time, like this crazy meltdown ordeal. And as far as like sex drive and stuff like that, they don't have it when they're on the birth control and
Yep.
stuff like that. Like I don't have that problem in my life anymore. I have a lady who just wants to be around me all the time. It's like one of the coolest things ever. And
Yep.
I do think there's like some real truth to that.
Yeah, that's more natural.
That this
that's more
birth
natural.
control has that effect, right?
Yeah.
Well, also,
I can feel it. I can
like-
feel there's a different effect. I'm having a different effect on her. I can definitely tell you that.
kind of like Ryan had said, is that we really changed the way that the consequences associated with sex, where like now women have like a much more, they're able to commit to a much more short-term mating strategy, where basically like, hey, if their hindbrain recognize like this guy's very attractive, I want to have a one night stand with him, then they can do that now. Whereas like before there was a lot more risk associated with that. So now, typically what happens is that a woman will, kind of like I had that little viral tweet that went up, they'll bang all the hot dudes in the foam cannon parties in their college years, and then they'll settle down with a guy and probably have kids from a previous relationship they carry into another relationship.
Yeah, my
which,
wife didn't.
if that's
my
your
wife
deal,
didn't go
then
to college.
yeah, well, yeah, yeah. I mean, I got very, very lucky, and this is why I don't like tell people what to look for in women. Like you're gonna find it no matter what. And even if I do give you like a perfect 20-point, bullet point list, you'll never listen to me anyways. So like, I got lucky with my wife. She grew up with her dad. Never on birth control or anything like that. She couldn't because of blood clotting disorder that she has, and that's also another reason why we never took the COVID vaccine. Not that we were planning to, but like she had to leave her job over because they were gonna make her take that or
Wow.
quit. So yeah, we went through that, but yeah, my wife's a huge exception to this whole deal. So like I said, I try not to give advice when it comes to like looking for a partner, but I know what I found in my wife, and I know I'm very lucky. grateful for her, and she's grateful for me because come on, look at this.
Yeah, dude. It's
Look at all
best looking guest we've had ever on the show, dude. Making us all
You had a couple commenters that said that too. So.
Oh yeah, Dickie did say Dickie's been a member for 30 months, by the way, more than 2 years. Thank you, Dickie Walnut. Said Kyle equals the hottest guest and Josh has had me and Brandy LOL and Toad on. Let's see, we got some other. Kevin Brady threw a $5 super chat. Thanks, man. He said Kyle saw me in the shower yesterday. Just for FYA, you want to talk about that, Kyle?
He sent me a text after I was.
It was through text, but you guys were sexting.
Yes, we were. I had Phil Gibson on my show, and I gave a hint of who I'm having on tomorrow. I think Ryan knows who I'm having on tomorrow. I'm not going to say it.
I don't.
But, no, I sent a screenshot in the one group chat that we're in that you would know. But
so my Twitter is weird, and the photos like take 4 hours before I can actually look at them.
Wait a minute, Kyle. You let this
what?
Like blatant federal agent into your fucking chat.
Ryan,
I was in the group chat before
Yeah.
Kyle, actually.
there you go.
Oh
Yeah.
damn,
Yes.
dude! Who the fuck let you in there, bro?
It was David Brady.
Oh yeah, David Brady's
Yeah.
17, so he doesn't know any better.
That makes
He's like
sense.
19 now.
Yeah, he is like
He's
19
legal.
now. I think when he
he's
came on the
getting
show, he was almost, he was like just 18. I think.
Yeah.
He thinks Ryan's cool, so that's why he let him in.
Yeah. He's like that Ryan guy's cool. No, we shit on Ryan a lot on the show, but I love Ryan to death.
Yeah.
Right?
David and I have the same, like, similar strands of autism.
Yeah, you guys are both a very, very similar type of autistic for sure. And I said this the last week on the show, but this is the truth. This is the absolute truth, especially when it comes to men. You always talk shit to your best friends' faces, and then you say all the good stuff behind their back. That's how it works with male friends, dude. You show up, you're like, "What up, fag?" Right? Like, and you talk all that shit, and then somebody else down the road's like, "What's up with that guy over there?" And you're like, "Don't fucking talk about that, dude. He's my best friend, and I'll fucking fight you." Like, that's literally how it works. You know what I mean? So like,
Yeah, I mean,
so like,
I've been a blue collar mechanic for
Oh, yeah.
11 years. I literally started for a dealership almost 11 years ago to the date, and it's the same deal. Like, we are battling. It is a full on war zone, 24/7 in the shop. And then as soon as somebody says, "Hey man, can you come like help me look at this?" It's, "Oh yeah, dude. What do you need? Let's figure this out. Whatever we can do."
This is a real like look at male relationships. This is how it works.
Yes.
Like, you talk mad shit to your best friends all the time. You dunk on them on purpose, and you say like true shit most of the time. Like, there's a lot of times you say true shit. It doesn't hurt when it comes to your friends. And I found out the hard way with my best friend in the whole world, Jonathan Marshall, Vinny Marshall, whatever you want to call him. He's got a couple different names. We've been friends since we were in like the 8th grade, 9th grade, or whatever. And he's a lead singer in bands and shit. He plays guitar and stuff. He was actually the lead singer of a band called Alexic that was very famous. Like, they were making fucking like lyric videos of their songs in like Germany and shit. Like, got pretty big. I was in a band with them too, pretty good band called Advocate. But we would go out camping and drink and do all kinds of different things. And he'd make fun of you while he's playing guitar. He'd like make songs up about you. And
That's awesome.
You cannot get mad at somebody when they're like singing their insults at you, dude. Like, it's impossible to get mad at somebody. You just have to laugh. And he like mastered talking shit, like the real shit, to your friends by just singing it with a guitar all the time, dude. It worked. It really was effective, dude. But he's also the guy that's like, "Don't talk shit about my bro Josh, or I'll fight you." You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's like same with me.
Men are awesome. I'm gay for men.
And fucking dudes
I could-
rock.
Listen,
You're gay for men? What
I'm gay
else
for
would
men.
you be gay
I
for?
could be in an almost fist fight with my best friend, and then there's a helicopter overhead. We both look up.
Yeah, right.
Okay,
Exactly.
so the one dude that works beside me, he's the newest guy in the shop, and I remember when he was like moving his toolbox on, we were talking about moving shit throughout the shop. He says, "Look, I don't know what we're gonna do. We're either fucking or we're fighting, but it's gonna be one of those two."
Yeah, it's funny how this works. JC, thanks for the $10 super chat, man. I appreciate you. He said Candace Owens is a psyop to distract us from the diddler. I think he's talking about P Diddler.
Yeah, P. Diddy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
That's
Diddy.
that's a crazy story.
Listen, we got
haven't
a lot of
talked
topics.
about. Oh,
Do
dude,
need to
we could go
we
an
can
hour
move
and a
on.
half, 2 hours. I don't
We can
care,
talk
whatever.
about it, too.
Whatever you guys got time for.
I'm
We're gonna
good,
be way past
And
Kyle's
there's-
bedtime though.
Well, yeah, there's all that
No,
also
I'm
like
off tomorrow because I
Oh.
have a very, very special guest who
Nice.
I need to take off of work for. You guys know this guest, and I promise you'll love it. So
That's exciting.
I'm excited to share.
I'm gonna go look in the group chat and
Yeah,
figure out who
let me
it
know who
is.
it is, but not on air though.
Yeah.
We don't want to ruin the surprise. That's funny that you say that. The RFK Junior campaign has reached out to us personally to this show, and said that they absolutely have to come on this show. Absolutely has to happen.
See, now there's a connection.
And here's the thing.
Body
Here's
armor.
the thing.
The Palestinians are the most pampered people in the world.
Well, and here's the thing. Here's the thing, dude. So like I'm gonna do the show, okay? But I have a meeting with this team tomorrow, and the stipulation is, look, I don't give a fuck who you are. First of all, okay, I don't care who you are. You're not setting the rules for my show. It's my fucking show. Sorry, I set the rules for my show. That's it. That's how it works. I'm not gonna give you softball questions. I'm not gonna take a list of questions from your team to do on my show, which is what happened with the debate in California at the Libertarian Party debate. He had to set all the guidelines. His team set all the guidelines for that debate. You couldn't call it a debate. You couldn't point at him. You couldn't call him out by name. You couldn't talk about policy. You could only talk about processes for the campaign. Like, none of that's gonna happen on this show. Now, and this is how I'm gonna sell it to them if they ask me. Okay, look, probably my show, specifically my show, has a lot more people that will be delegates to the national convention for the Libertarian Party than almost any other show out there right now. Okay?
Absolutely.
There's a lot of people that come and watch our show that are going to be delegates to the national convention or have been past delegates at national conventions at the least. Okay. I've been in the Libertarian Party for a long time. I've been in national leadership for the Libertarian Party for 3 terms. I'm a presidential candidate for the Libertarian Party. There's a lot of people that are watching our show and listening to our show that are delegates, are going to be delegates. Yeah. Both the guys in my room right now. This is the
Shall we consult the signal chat?
This will be the first national convention in 4 in 4 national conventions, so 8 years or whatever, that I'm not a national delegate. And I specifically asked that I not be a national delegate because I don't want to go there and try to campaign and then not do my voting duties, right? So anyways, if you're, and we know what you're doing. We know what RFK is doing here, dude. We know that he's trying to sell himself to the Libertarian Party. And let me explain it to you. And I'll say this to him, to his face live. I'm not afraid to do this. I'm also a presidential candidate. And if you're going to be a presidential candidate, you better be better than me, dude. You know what I mean? I don't give a fuck. But the truth is he got into this independent race and realized that ballot access is fucking expensive, dude.
Yep.
Expensive. I'm talking, he probably realized it would take $100 million to get on all 50 state ballots, dude. Okay? As the Libertarian Party has already built this repertoire with a ton of states. We'll be on the ballot minimum 49 states this year. We're still working on New York, but we'll be on the ballot for minimum 49 states no matter what. No matter who the candidate is, no matter who gets nominated at the national convention, we will be on the ballot in 49 states. Okay? And he's like, oh, well,
all of a sudden we're his best friend.
Fixes all of our issues, dude, right? And there's a lot of Libertarian Party members that are like, oh, well, that'll help us with ballot access even further and raise us a bunch of money. It's like, no, we did the same shit with Bill Weld. You guys will understand that Bill Weld was a 2-term governor of fucking Massachusetts, right? And he ran with a 2-term governor of New Mexico, right? Like, these guys weren't nobodies. You did the same thing. You pulled this high-profile politicians that had run entire states in thinking it was going to bolster the party. This was going to be how we won, and we didn't. It didn't do shit. In fact, last year, all the people that Gary Johnson brought in 2016 left the fucking party. All of them. Every single last one of them. Everybody who worked on his campaign, gone. Fucking out. So I don't want to play it again. But here's the thing. If you want to come on and talk to my crowd and my people and my delegates, because my delegates watch the show, people who support my campaign watch the show, you want to come and try and pilfer those candidates, you're going to answer for your eco-fascism, dude. You're going to answer for your comments on the Second Amendment, dude. You're going to answer for you simping for lockdowns as late as 2021, okay? You're going to answer for those things because those are the questions that libertarians want to hear answered from you, okay? They want to hear about your support for Israel and why. Okay. They don't want you to give an 8-second pause when you're asked about it. They want you to answer for these things because these are things that libertarians care about. Yep. And you're not going to look, our process to nominate a presidential candidate is different than any other process in the country. Okay. 1,100 people or less will pick our presidential candidate at a national convention in May in Washington, D.C. Okay. We do this every 4 years. We elect by convention, okay? Nobody else is doing this. They all have these open primaries, okay? The Libertarian Party does not have an open primary. You have to be a member of the party. You have to show up to the national convention. And you have to vote for that nominee if you want them to win, okay? I've been trying to stress this to people who support me for many, many months now, okay? Because you got to go to your state convention. You got to become a delegate. And you got to show up in D.C. That's the only way we win, okay? If we don't win, that's why we didn't win. Plain and simple.
Correct.
And maybe, I don't want to blame, I'm not going to blame you guys for doing it. It's my fault for not inspiring you more if we lose. Okay? That's fine. I'll take all the blame for it. I'm cool with that. But I think that we're gonna at least minimum do a good showing there. We already have at least 250 to 300 delegates ready to go. So that's more than a quarter of the delegates already. You know what I mean? So, second, third, fourth ballot's going to get interesting. But
it's hard not to view RFK as hijacking.
Yeah. So like you want to hijack,
okay?
You want to pilfer.
Yep.
You're going to have to
I
answer
want to
this
see
question.
him get 10 fucking delegates.
Yeah.
I could see 2.
So when he gets there's going to be some
But
old guard
guys,
people that will vote.
why don't we just pull the chat? We'll pull the signal chat.
Yeah. So here's the thing.
Got over 100 here.
If he's going to come on the show, and I'm going to tell his team this, he's going to have to answer the hard questions. I'm not going to give him softball fucking questions. This is my show. It's long form. He has to stay the whole time.
Yep.
Okay. We do a long form show. We don't do short shows. I don't want any of this,
None of
slogan.
this. And if you look at the numbers, I mean,
No,
really,
I don't want slogans and bumper stickers and fuck. I want legitimate answers to questions, long form answers. So if RFK's team is watching this, because apparently they've been watching our show, they say they absolutely have to come on the show. I know why, because I'm a presidential candidate for the party, right? And I have a good chance of getting the nomination. And he knows that there's going to be a lot of my delegates there that are going to, if I should lose the nomination, on
They
like
want
second or
they
third
want
ballot,
you to bait. Well,
They
they're
want me
probably
to go
expecting
and
you to drop out and endorse him.
Well, no, what they would do is hope that I would endorse him after I get beat on the ballot and get my delegates to vote for him. That's what they want.
Yep.
So, but let me tell you something, dude. All of my delegates are the most hardline libertarians you will fucking meet ever. All of them, every single one of them, hardline, straight down the center. Straight down the right, right center. Libertarians. These are the people that are 2A amendment absolutists. These people were 100% open speech. They're not eco-fascist. They were against the COVID regime. One of my biggest videos for the campaign is actually talking about putting the COVID regime in Guantanamo Bay, dog. Okay, let me tell you, the people who support me are the hardcorest of the hardcore when it comes to these ideals. So if you want those people, answer the hard questions or don't come on the show, and I'm fine with that. That show will probably be really big. It'd probably be a really big show. We'd probably get a lot of eyes on that show. I won't do it if he's not going to answer the hard questions. Plain and simple. And I don't give a fuck. What do you think, Ryan?
I'm just thinking, let's say RFK magically rallies support, and it comes down to RFK or one of the other candidates, and you have to you get eliminated third to last. You get third place, and you have to endorse one of them. Would you choose every candidate to endorse over RFK?
Yes, every single one. Everyone. There's not a single candidate that I would. I'm talking libertarian Lars, dude. There's not a single candidate running on our ballot right now. Well, I don't know. I have to dig more into Charles Boulay, but yeah,
I haven't even heard.
I would
of
have
him,
to dig deep and maybe
I haven't even heard of him.
I have fundamental.
Ex-cop,
Vermont's
Mikey,
great, dude.
Mikey.
He's
I'm
great.
gonna go for Mikey.
He's
Okay,
great.
My second
choice
would
maybe
be
you guys.
Mike.
Okay, maybe you
That
guys.
maybe be
can
my second choice.
Maybe you guys can correct me on this if I'm mistaken, but Mike Termott's position on Taiwan is a no-go for me because he said I'm for strategic clarity, which would mean that the United States official policy right now is strategic ambiguity, where we don't recognize Taiwan as a sovereign country. We recognize that as territory of Taiwan. Mike's position on that is strategic clarity.
Oh, I haven't caught that. I haven't caught him say that.
Yes,
strategic clarity.
Yes, I could find the tweet for you. That is a no-go for me. That
that's
should
a
be a
no-go
no-go
for
for
me,
any
too.
libertarian because that means that we go to war with China because that's their territory.
If that's the truth, because I haven't heard him say
Interesting.
that. I've been in like 7 or 8
I
different
could
debates
send
with
it to
him.
you.
Send it to me. I want to look at it.
I think if you pressed him on it and maybe informed him a little bit more, I feel like he would change his mind. But I know he said that. I've quote tweeted it.
That's weird, yeah,
I'll
because
see if
he's
I
like
can find
super anti-war. Like he's one of the bigger anti-war guys on the panel with me for sure.
Is there any candidate that wouldn't just basically delegate all that shit to Scott Horton? Be like, yeah, you're the source of truth.
State Department.
Yeah, that's just I will do what you say here, Scott.
Yeah, I already said-
I know you've done all the.
I already
research.
said Scott Horton for the head of State Department and Shane Hazel for military operations. That's how we're doing it going
works.
forward.
That
So
works.
Quest Fanning, thanks for the $10 super chat. He said it's okay to share, Josh, more than okay. Thank you for the sharing. He's talking about the family law stuff. Abrogate D's $2 super chat. Very excited for tomorrow, he says, Kyle.
You'll
you did
know
not-
why,
you-
I promise.
Yeah. You did not share that in any group chat I'm in, so you must be
I
two-timing
did.
me on the group chat.
No, I did.
How
I did.
long
I know
ago?
It was probably like last week, I want to say. So it was,
Okay,
it
I
was a
only
little
went
bit
back
ago.
about a week.
Yeah, well, that's about as far as
Yeah.
your memory.
It was a screenshot of an email that somebody sent me with asking if I would have this certain person on, and I promise you guys know this guest. I
Okay,
promise.
I vaguely remember seeing that. I
Have
don't
they been
remember
on? Have they
who
been
it
on my
was.
show, Kyle?
No,
Okay.
at least not that I know of.
Okay. Well, there are
I
250
strongly don't think so.
235 episodes now. So,
Yeah, I've
Plus-
caught a fair bit of them, but I know it's not going to be Shane Hazel.
No.
But as much as I love Shane, I already had Dave on because I know some people might think I'm having Dave on, but no, I promise this person.
I've had
I
Dave
don't
on
wanna
like
give
It's
it
four.
away.
I've had
Barack
Dave on
Obama.
like 4 times.
It is okay. There you go. It's Barack Obama.
I've had Dave on like 4 times, and some people might be surprised to know that Dave used to be like my friend, and we talked on the phone all the time and stuff. And then all of a sudden, he just thought I was this big piece of shit or something. Quest Fanning, $5 super chat. Thanks, man. He said 92% of mass killers are fatherless. I think it's actually 93 or 94%. I think it's up a little bit. And there's a bunch of other stats too that I usually talk about.
There's horrible stats.
81%
for fatherless
of homeless
homes.
and 81% of homeless and runaway youth. Over 78% of high school dropouts.
Yeah. Broken smoke detectors.
84% of violent youth offenders sitting in jail today, all fatherless homes, man. It's the stats
Yes.
are undeniable, dude. JVP
Absolutely.
Music, man, what's up? $5 super chat. What's up, dude? It's good to see you, buddy. He says, I just want to congratulate you on bringing on your first feminine guest. Kyle's a rock star. Kylie's a rock star. Benjamin Helms. Benjamin Held, what's up, man? Thanks for the $20 super chat. He said, bring on Gabe Brown and talk real agriculture. Give farmers the freedom to farm and protect the land again. I actually, I had Bull Johnson on once who's a big time bull rancher and farmer in Minnesota. He was running for one of the districts there.
Was that my first show as
no
co-host?
Bull was in the old house, I think. I don't even think it was.
We had somebody running in Minnesota on pretty early on.
Yeah, I think
joined.
I had Bull on in the old house, but I'm more than happy to talk agriculture with farmers at any point, man, because I am definitely. First of all, I'm like a big part of the food freedom movement. I think, when I talk about I talk about the Civil War thing all the time, right? Like the Civil War is not picking up AK-47s and fighting fucking F-18s.
No,
it's growing your own food and printing your own guns and opting out of the federal fiat system by using Bitcoin and homeschooling your children. But one of the biggest tenets of that is opting out of the corporate farming structure, dude. Like this is literally, if you want to talk about all the conspiracies you want, I believe in most of them. Okay. You guys know this. Okay? I've come to a point in my life where our fucking government and the elite ruling class are so bad that I can't not believe most of the conspiracies because they're just fucking evil, satanic vampires, bro. You know what I mean? But like,
except the moon landing, though, right?
Like,
I mean, we definitely landed on the moon.
My boss today started going on about reptile people.
I believe that.
Ironically,
At
and he
this
was
point,
like,
I
"Have you
believe
heard
they
about
might
this?"
be-
I'm like, "Oh yeah."
I don't think they're
we're
reptile
reptile.
people. I think they're demons.
Holy
They're
shit.
fucking literal vampire potbelly goblins, bro. But so here's the thing, dude. It's been proven before that they've poisoned Americans like through food. It's been proven. This isn't like, I'm not making this up, right? Like there's been many times between the FDA and some of these other regulatory agencies where they've just let like poison come through, like, you know what I mean? And talk about like the
How dare you? DDT kills bugs. Okay,
yeah,
we need
DDT,
bugs
right?
off these
Like,
plants,
okay.
Josh. How are we supposed to do it?
Let's if you really want to get into the DDT conversation, they stopped using DDT before they rolled out the polio vaccine, and polio started to go before the polio vaccine came. So
Kids used to run behind the truck.
they're fucking just like they've poisoned us numerous times over history. And so do you really want to be part of this like corporate farming structure where like the ruling elite and the federal government own all this fucking farmland and are like putting their engineering into your food, and these are the things you're feeding your children? Like, no fucking way, dude. Like, no way. That should be like one of the most important things that you do as a liberty loving American, is getting the fuck away from the corporate farming structure and opting into the food freedom movement. Trade with your neighbors, bro. Like, go to the fucking Go to the farmer's market, dude. Like every city has a fucking farmer's market, dude. I live in Iowa, and it's like one of the biggest farmer's markets I've ever seen in Des Moines, dude. Like it's like 12 streets.
Have you had farm to table meat yet?
Yeah,
here?
of course, dude.
Yeah,
of course.
We're blessed in this state because there's so much farming that's not giant and Walmart sized.
Yeah.
So you can go to a small town locker in Iowa and get half a cow.
Dude, you can go look them up on the internet right now. There's hundreds of them.
Yeah,
hundreds of them.
It's amazing beef.
You can get cows. You can get pigs.
Yeah.
You can get lamb. You can get anything, dude. You can get anything. If you live within 100 miles of farms, you can go and get this shit. People are selling it.
Pork is kind of our jam here. I think pork is our number one export.
Pork is the number one.
Beef,
well,
corn,
as far as
soybeans.
Yeah, there's a turkey farm and I think 2 cow farms within like not even 5 minutes of me. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, that's awesome.
We're in Iowa, dude. So I live in West Des Moines, right?
Drive 10 minutes in any
10
direction.
minutes in any direction, you're in the middle of fucking nowhere, and you'll hit a farm, dude. Like, okay, and we're in the city. We're like in the city, and you leave 10 minutes.
We're in the
outside
metro,
city.
dude.
Yeah, you're in the middle of nowhere, dude.
I
tried to explain this to my mom and my family, like, no, mom, if you drive that way up the street, for 10 minutes, you will be in the middle of nowhere.
You won't see buildings.
I'm like, nothing. You'll see nothing for miles and miles and miles. You will see airplane lights. That's it, dude. That's it. And that's why I love the middle of the country, dude. It's there is the farm to table, like the real farm to table, not the California swanky like Pearl District fucking like farm to table, which isn't really farm to table. I'm talking like legit farm to table. You can go buy it from the farm and bring it home and put it on your table.
The guy will have a bloody apron on when he sells it to you.
Yeah, dude. Yes.
Base.
Base, dude. Like opt out of the corporate farming structure. It's one of the worst things you can do. If you're one of these people that got skeptical of the FDA, right? Or like got skeptical of like traditional American like Western healthcare because of the COVID stuff, you should absolutely 100% be skeptical of the corporate farming structure, of the government regulating these things. You should absolutely 100%. If they would do that to you over a sickness, guaranteed they're fucking with your food. I don't even need to make it a conspiracy theory. It's true. I'll tell you it's true right now. And someday when they release documents in 40 years, you'll find out that you've been poisoning your children for the last 40 years, dude. You know what I mean? Like that's the truth. It is the truth. It's not a conspiracy. Yeah. Opt out, dude.
Yeah, it's kind of surprising that like people don't come to this realization pretty quick because it's like, okay, well, if a butcher or somebody sells you some bad food, you get sick. And then it's not good for them. Like these people have every incentive in the world to make sure that the product they're putting out is as good as possible. So like, why do we need any kind of FDA? Why do we need giant testing for food? Once again, if people are poisoning people, we'll know, and we'll know fast.
Oh yeah, you're gonna find out. That's the other thing too. Like when we start talking about, corporations are going to run the world. Well, racist people might be able to own businesses and this and that and this and that. Like this is always the argument against like a free market, right? Which I don't call it a free market anymore. I think it just like convolutes the idea and shuts down conversation with like normal people. I call it the consumer driven market. Okay, like that's what it is. It's a consumer.
It's like a free market with barnacles on it.
But like that those conversations and those arguments might have held some weight like prior to the internet. Okay, but like this is like the information age. And like, if you like hung a fucking no black people allowed sign on the front of your business, it would be viral tomorrow morning. Viral.
Oh, absolutely.
Hundreds of millions of views, dude.
Right.
Okay, so like it's not a thing anymore, dude. This doesn't happen anymore.
I had this fucking argument tonight.
Really?
With a family. Yes.
Wow.
I was trying to explain bigotry of low expectations. And the way that's connected to affirmative action. Do you know how difficult that is for someone that's just dyed in the wool, maybe on the left? They think affirmative action is a totally pro-minority thing, and that's making the level playing field. You try to explain it to them and say, obviously, if racism can't be in every single hiring decision, that's not even possible. So no matter, albeit a giant overcorrection, it's the government acknowledging that if they didn't have this law in place,
they couldn't get
those jobs wouldn't be there, right? That person wouldn't be hired. But because you have to have some kind of a quota or some kind of DEI procedure, then they get the job. So now you have someone that's in a position that they're not qualified for, which is bad for that individual,
Right.
and it's bad for the company, and it's bad for the consumer. And ultimately, it's anti-minority. It ends up hurting the people that you're trying to help.
Right.
And it's a bigotry of low expectations.
Yeah, and that's a term that a lot of people don't understand, but it's the
It's
truth.
hard to explain.
DEI
sometimes, you know?
and affirmative action are essentially giant programs that tell minority groups they're so fucking dumb they could never get these positions on their own.
They're literally acknowledging it in the wording of the law.
That's what it is. You could never get.
We
into these
realize that
colleges.
there's no way you could get this on your own, so we're going to
You
hand
could
it to
never
you.
get into these colleges. You could never get into these job positions. You could never do any of these things if the government didn't make it so that you could.
Right.
But then they painted it as, oh, well, everyone's racist, so we have to do
Yeah.
these programs. It's
Because-
the same with the Civil Rights Act.
And because doing it on the other end, making the schools better, improving that's expensive.
Right. Of course it is. Well,
That requires
the same
a
with
lot
the
of
Civil
work.
Rights Act, and maybe there was a time when the Civil Rights Act served its purpose, but the
That was
fucked up,
that was the argument of the person I was
but
arguing
the
with. by the way.
fucked up
Yes,
thing.
yes,
Here's the
yes.
fucked up thing, right? Like when you're talking about the Civil Rights Act, like segregation on like a national level was imparted by the fucking federal government, dude.
And it
Yes.
wasn't even that. It wasn't that big of a thing nationally. It was mostly
In the South.
centralized to small communities in the South.
Yeah,
and just
Alabama,
pockets of small communities.
Mississippi, Louisiana, and a couple other
Yeah.
states in general. But the thing is like they had to pass laws to end their own segregation
Correct.
acts, right?
Correct.
And their own Jim Crow laws, and like they're the ones that like perpetrated all this shit, right? And so the Civil Rights Act should have just been like imposed on the government.
Yep.
Not on private businesses, but it was imposed on private businesses, which takes away everyone's right to freedom of association, which I think everyone should have a right to freedom of association. And I think, there may be some people out there who are like, you know what? I don't want any trans people in my business. Okay, that's cool. You have that right. You should have that right.
Businesses are quietly starting to do
Let me finish.
some of that stuff.
You should have that right. You should have that right to be able to have that, kind of right to freely associate with whoever you want in the business that you maintain and you pay for and you take all the risk for, right? You should have that right. But you also are not free from boycotts. You're not free from going viral on the internet.
Going out of business.
Going out of business.
Yeah.
All of these things,
If
right?
it's such a bad fucking idea, then wouldn't they go out of business?
Exactly, dude. Okay, go ahead, Ryan.
Yeah.
Now that you're not cutting me off.
Well, so businesses, some business.
Anyway, so
God
listen.
damn
So
it,
what happened
Josh.
was,
So there are some, especially HR departments that weed out people that choose pronouns that are not.
yeah, I wouldn't hire people that
Yeah,
put pronouns
that are
you see
outside
it on
of
a bio,
the base
trash,
two
right?
normal ones, because they find trends that these people are not good employees and are an HR nightmare in general. So
yeah, they're
they just
HR
don't hire
nightmares,
them.
dude, and they look for their victims.
It's not worth the juice is not worth the squeeze.
Listen. If you're a straight person that's putting your pronouns and emails to job employers, dude, you're likely a giant fucking victim
Yep.
all the time. Okay,
They know the
I was gonna
cancer
say
that it will
faggot.
cause in their fucking
that too.
office.
but no. If you're a straight person that puts fucking if you're like a dude with a 5 o'clock shadow and you don't even have breast implants yet, and you're putting him at the bottom of your fucking your emails to like employers, dude. You're like obviously running in the victim Olympics, bro. Like the oppression Olympics, right? Like you have so little to feel oppressed about that you have to let people know you're a him in hopes that they'll try to oppress you for being, a man, which you are. Okay. So like, why in
He's being
God's
an
green
ally.
earth? Shut the fuck up, Ryan. Shut up.
That was his Tim Pool impression.
Why,
everybody.
why in God's green earth would I, as a business owner, actually hire somebody who has to feel oppressed all the time? Because all they're going to do is be a giant fucking headache and nightmare for me. They're going to constantly look for ways to feel like they're the victim at work. They're going to be pointing fingers at me, right? Like, oh, you did this and you did this and you did this. I'll be like, dude, you fucking ate your lunch on the toilet for 2 hours, dude. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck? What do you want from me? You know what I mean? So like, I'm not hiring anybody that puts like she, shim, or see, sir, or any of this shit in their emails. I'm not hiring anybody like that. I to take it a step further and say, if you own a business, stop hiring these people, dude. Stop putting these people to work, dude. Okay? There's nothing in a free society that says you have to hire these people. Stop fucking hiring these absolute professional victims for your companies and let them see what real victimhood is like, dude. Let them see what real oppression is like. Let them see how terrible it is when they can't make money because they have to constantly go around playing professional fucking victim all the time, dude. You know what I mean? Like, stop hiring them. I'm advocating you right now. If it's somebody on the left that's constantly playing oppression Olympics, constantly playing the victim all the time, saying, oh, my life's so bad because of this and this and this and this, don't hire that person. Don't fucking hire him anymore. I'll tell you what, a right-wing pull yourself up by your fucking bootstraps person is going to do the job just as good, probably better, and not complain about every single thing you do as an attack on them. Period. Sorry. Go ahead, Ryan.
Okay, so there was this really interesting study that was done a while ago where they had women prepare for a job interview, and they put like fake scarring on their face, and they showed the women it, and it was like pretty ugly looking stuff. And right before they went into the interview, they're like, oh, we're gonna touch it up, and they removed all of it. So the women went into this interview believing they were like disfigured going into the interview.
Okay.
And all of them reported that they were discriminated against, and that some of them even reported specific targeted language towards their scarring that they did not have. So if you go in with the mentality that you are going to be a victim, you will find victimhood even if there is none.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you know, it's kind of funny.
Rumble again.
Yeah, nice,
Dope,
awesome.
dope.
But there are studies done in the fitness world as it relates to placebo, which this kind of goes to your overall point, where there was a study done, I want to say it was like a month or two ago, where they gave people a clear liquid and a liquid that was colored pink to determine whether or not if like the placebo effect of just having a colored drink would affect people's overall athletic performance. And I think what they found is actually like the people who had the pink fluid, it was literally just water with dye in it. The people who drank the pink drink actually had significantly better performance on like a 1 rep max for a bench press or something like that. So placebo is a very, very powerful thing. And there was also another study done years ago where they did like leptin and ghrelin, which are basically like satiety hormones. And they basically told all these people what they were, even if they weren't something, they'd lied to them essentially. And what they found is actually people responded accordingly, like their hormones responded to what they were told and what they sincerely believed.
You guys know what's even better? You know what's even more powerful than placebo? PCP, dude.
I was gonna say Jesus, but go off. King.
What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say Jesus, but go off.
Jesus too, but PCP for sure, dude. You want to lift a bus? Like a little angel dust, dude. That's what.
If you want to bite a motherfucker's face, just get some bath salts, man.
I was gonna say use bath salts as a control group.
This is what we used to say. It's what we used to say in the hood. Want to lift a bus? Take a little angel dust, dude. You know what I'm saying? It's good stuff, bro. I'm just saying, you could run around naked in the hood and no one will give a fuck because you just took a bunch of angel dust. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. There you go. People probably leave you alone.
Jay Forte, $5 super chat. Thanks, man. He said FDA and USDA can kick rocks. They're making it impossible for a startup farmer. Yeah, dude, it's hard.
Oh,
in Iowa, it's like here's the thing: is like Iowa's super free in like so many aspects. It's probably if we had like a freedom index, like a real one, not one put out by that fake gay fucking rag Cato, right? Like a real freedom index. Like Iowa would probably be up there in the top 5.
Yeah.
I 100% believe.
Let's be clear. The cannabis is still a sore spot.
Cannabis
Kim,
is a sore spot.
Kim, I'm looking at the camera. Kim, I'm talking to you.
Yeah, we're talking to you.
We're talking to you.
Stop arresting people for that shit.
Yeah.
But you know, it's a trade-off, right? Like in California, I can go into the 7-Eleven and buy weed, but the ATF will shoot me in the face if I buy a gun and put it in my pants. Here, I can walk out of the store with the gun in my pants and no one gives a fuck. Like no one cares. Anywhere I go, everywhere I go. And you can even go into businesses that have a gun-free zone sign on the window. And all
allegedly,
and all they can do is ask you to leave.
Yeah,
dude.
they'll ask you to leave the store.
There is no law.
Correct.
It's not a mandate. It's not a mandate.
Correct.
It's not a law. So it's pretty cool. Quest Fanning, thanks for the $5 super chat. He said, ostensibly opening opportunity would open things for better candidates. I'm guessing that's not the plan. No, dude, they don't want to fucking.
No,
they don't want better candidates.
Before we leave the RFK thing, real quick,
We left the RFK thing like 25 minutes ago.
I know. Just real quick. No, he brought it back up in the chat.
Oh, okay.
Listen, we got to talk about the
he's
the
talking
VP.
about, he's talking about candidates for jobs for the.
Oh, for a job. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Okay.
dude, where have you been?
Jesus Christ.
This guy
Maybe
went
had a
from
little bit too much
this guy
mead.
went
No,
from-
we forgot to talk about the VP. He just picked his VP.
Oh, yeah.
Remember?
Yeah, she sucks, dude.
The-
She's a left
Yeah,
wing
she-
fucking.
Shania
It's money.
Clanahan
It's money.
or something?
It's all backup. It's all
Yeah,
backup.
Shania
shit for him.
Clanahan.
Yeah, it's all backup shit for him. Look, dude. If the libertarian thing doesn't work out, then at least he's got a vice president that brings in enough money.
No, Nicole Shanahan.
Shanahan.
Yeah, they
Nicole
pulled up her
Shanahan,
Vote Blue.
Hanahan.
Her what was it? What's the fucking company? Jesus, I'll bring it up here. The Blue Dot, whatever. Anyway, it's all Democratic donations.
yeah, all of it.
It's
Yeah,
a straight
every-
lefty, VP.
He basically picking her basically guaranteed that it won't hurt Trump's campaign at all. Pretty much. That's
Correct.
pretty much what it did.
They had a little ceremony to honor the Native American land
Oh, Jesus.
before she spoke.
Plus,
Land back.
Fanning, $2 super chat. Thanks, man. He said, "Are you coming to Pork Fest, Josh?" That's the plan. Yes, I would like to come. Here's the goal. Hopefully, I get to come there as the presidential candidate. That way, we have raised enough money. We've raised enough money to buy the bus, the campaign bus, and I can bring my family with me because I like my family to come to Pork Fest, just not on the side where all the naked people. Stay the fuck away from my family.
Yeah.
I'll shoot you.
Yeah, not good.
Yeah. So, but I am planning on making an appearance at Pork Fest, especially if I'm the presidential candidate at that point for the Libertarian Party. I'll be there. There's no doubt, and I'd be more than happy to do and speaking or anything you guys want me to do. Some of the people organizers there are mad at me because I'm a fan of Jeremy, and also because I am not a. Which is, I think, is hilarious coming from people that run the Free State Project that have very clearly said they would pay for plane tickets to leave the state and not let Massachusetts people in. They've actually said they should build a wall between Massachusetts and New Hampshire, and they're mad at me because I'm not an open. Okay. That's all right. It is what it is. I don't give a fuck. Bro, ATF shooting people in the face, man.
Yeah, Malinowski, Brian Malinowski. So let me pull this up here. He did die. I don't.
A lot of times when people get shot in the face,
I don't.
they die.
No. I don't think he died at
The
the scene.
common
I don't
consequence.
think he died at the scene. He was taken to the hospital, then he died. He was in Arkansas. Just happened to be the Clinton airport. Wink, wink.
Oh, wink, wink.
He was the airport director. So he was shot by ATF agents during a raid at his home. He had died. This was what day was this? Yeah, the 21st. This little ancient Chinese secret. So basically, Mr. Guns and Gear had like an 8-minute video. I just realized I did not tweet it. I'll tweet it after the show. So this guy was going on gunbroker.com. He was buying multiple firearms and reselling them for a $200 markup at a local gun show in Arkansas. So this was shortly after he had a meeting in D.C. with lawmakers, and what day was the time change? I forget what day that was. You know, when their clocks rolled back or whatever. So by law, the ATF in Arkansas stated that they could show up at 6 a.m. 6 a.m. was the earliest they can show up to your door and knock, knock, we're here to fuck you up. They used that time change. Was it spring forward, right? What was it? So they showed up anyway. They showed up an hour before because it was technically 6. So they showed up at 5 a.m. that time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They took advantage of that time change to gain an extra hour to be a little earlier. Kind of sinister. So they show up at 5 a.m. Boom, boom, boom. He thinks it's a home invasion. Pulls a gun. There's a standoff. There's a gunfight. He's shot in the face. Whoops. This was a guy that was not doing anything violent. He was probably cutting corners and maybe not reporting the amount of firearms that he was selling. I believe like it's something like 12 a year, and you got to sign some papers and be a federal dealer or something. He was probably skirting a fine and paperwork to do that. So that's the law he was breaking, whatever. I don't believe in that, but they show up to do a raid on this guy. Like, this was a guy that they could have made a phone call and said, hey man, let's talk about this. What's going on? You know, we know what you're doing. You need to correct this behavior, or show up and cuff him in daylight. You know, how about the gun show? How about show up at the gun show?
Yeah.
Right? And
Also,
cuff
where
him
they
there
could
and
have
be
got
like, hey,
David Koresh was at multiple
exactly
gun shows. All the
same
time.
type of deal. It very had shadows of Waco there. So just another overreach by the feds. And
I hold on one second. Before we get, we'll dive into this just a little.
Sure.
Like an hour. I gotta go. That's fine. Kyle did send me the Mike Tremont tweet. I don't want to.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
He says the U.S. government's moronic, decades-long policy of strategic ambiguity China regarding Taiwan must end before we create a self-fulfilling prophecy of effectively inviting high-tech investment in Taiwan under the guise of U.S. protection, and then find that we have critical dependence on Taiwanese supply chains, which we fear would be interrupted by a Chinese reunification. So I do want to clear up what he's saying here, because I've heard this argument partially in debates. He's saying that we should
Make it clear line.
Make it clear that we're not protecting Taiwan anymore.
Yeah.
He's not saying make it clear that we're going to protect Taiwan. He's saying we should not be telling high-tech businesses that Taiwan is under American protection, so that they go and put a bunch of money in there, and then we have to worry about a reunification. What he's saying is we should get clarity on the fact that we are not Taiwan's big brother. We will not go to war with China.
But, right. But
Okay.
the problem is that the strategic ambiguity is essentially what has kept the peace. And when you say you're departing from that policy, that means you're recognizing Taiwan.
We've already
own
departed.
country.
We've already departed from that policy.
Right, no, I
Unfortunately.
agree, but that there's no official departure. When you make an official departure, that's the problem.
It's an official departure. Joe Biden is the first president since
You're right. You're right.
Before
But there
Nixon,
is
since before
Yes.
Nixon, because Nixon was the one. I believe it was Nixon was the one who brought the moral ambiguity and said,
strategic
Taiwan,
ambiguity.
yeah, strategic moral ambiguity. He probably brought that too, but he was the one that was like, all right, look, Taiwan, we might protect you, we might not. Hey, China, we might
Right.
protect them, we might not. And it stayed that way until Joe Biden. Joe Biden's the first one to ever say, China, we will go to war with you over Taiwan. So
yes, you're correct.
that strategic ambiguity is over. Like policy wise, it's over. Our commander in chief, for the first time since the 70s, has said,
Yes.
that's it, China, we will go to war over Taiwan. So what I agree to an extent with what Tremont is saying there, that we should no longer say, hey, Taiwan, we're going to protect you if China
I agree
attacks
with
you.
that.
So I'm okay with that. And I think it's the really important part of that post is that he said we shouldn't have American business investors investing in high-tech businesses in Taiwan. We thought that we will protect Taiwan, because there was never any promise that we would protect Taiwan. So a reunification with China has always been something that high-tech businesses that invest in Taiwan have had to worry about. They shouldn't have to worry about that, because we should just say, you can invest in American or you can get the fuck out. You know what I mean? Like, and that's how it should be. We should not be protecting foreign interests, like even for American businesses. I had this conversation about like the Straits of Hormuz and like some of these other waterways, right? Like it's a kind of like a touchy subject with some libertarians, but like, no, we shouldn't use the military to protect your business interests. When you start a business, you take on all the fucking risk of that business. If you go over to fucking, Saudi Arabia or Iran or any of these countries, or Afghanistan, for God's sakes, I mean, any of these countries, and say, I'm going to start a business here, an American business here, bro, that's on you. That's not on the American taxpayer, bro. That's on you. You're taking your business outside of America and you're asking for American tax dollars to protect that interest. No, absolutely not. Zero.
Can we make a cutout for Somali pirates?
No,
I like to see
fuck
the
them too,
ships
dude.
like
Fuck them all,
shooting
dude.
and stuff.
All of them.
No,
Everyone.
only the
all right.
Koreans. I mean, we already protect South Korea, but I want more rooftop Koreans. I think we need some more.
Oh,
of those.
you're
Yes.
fucked if you want more Koreans. Their birth rate is gone.
Yeah, it's pretty low, dude.
Like they're,
Yeah.
but around the time we're dying, there's gonna be like,
Ryan is
it's predicted
very
to be about
optimistic about
7
birth
million
rates.
South Koreans at that point.
See, Ryan, there's a big difference between me and Ryan. Ryan will sit here and complain about birth rates. I'll just keep making more babies. You know what I mean?
I've started.
That's how we separate the Chads from the virgins, bro. You know
I've
what
started.
I mean?
I've said for a long time now that if you want to win long term, you have a bunch of children and raise them to have a bunch of children. That's the cultures that have children are going to be the ones that win.
That's what China's doing. That's the real Chinese invasion, by the way.
They're just
That's their 500-year plan.
They have 30
They just
million
supplant our population.
they're out fucking us right now.
Yeah,
for sure, yeah.
100%.
Not me personally, but not me personally. We're winning. I'm winning. I am winning. If you guys all did what I
Joshua
did,
Smith is outpacing 6 provinces in China right now.
I had this idea since political affiliation is like somewhat genetic. I had this idea of every libertarian should just try and become a sperm donor and then try and max out at like the 25 kids, and that's how we spread, make more libertarians.
That's a hot take.
That's just what we need.
There's a lot of slogans I got swirling
That's just
around
what
here.
we need. More autistic kids running around, dude. Good job. Yeah, totally.
You
Let's
should
make
have,
some-
you should have a whole collection of fuck trophies that are all good little libertarians.
And listen, if everybody went out,
Absolutely.
if everybody who listens to the show tonight went out and decided to set out to have 7 children like I have, we would win. We would start winning right away. Our birth rates would go up in the next 10 years. Our birth rates would rise so fast. Be crazy, dude.
Hey, Ryan. Hey, IT guy.
Yeah.
Did you realize less than a week ago, a person wearing Neuralink sent the first text by Thought?
Yeah, by
Mhm.
thought.
Oh,
They
shit.
tweeted by Thought.
Yeah, he stayed up all night playing Civ 6.
They did. Bro, just to be clear, he didn't look at a keyboard and it was following his eyes. It wasn't a twitch from his arm. No, he thought the words. They appeared in his little browser, and he hit send with his mind.
I'm not gonna lie,
Yeah.
it's pretty fucking cool.
That's fucking crazy. So
I think
That's
that
crazy.
I think it
New
needs
fear
to
unlocked.
die. I think it needs to die in a fire right away, but still kind of cool. I'm not gonna.
well,
lie.
he's. I believe he's quadriplegic.
Yeah, he can't.
It's
the only
modded quad. Modded quad
the
is his
only
name.
the only thing that the Neuralink has been approved for at all has been for people who are quadriplegic.
Yeah, this is a volunteer guy. Noland Arbaugh. So Noland Arbaugh
Yeah.
is the first cyborg.
I wonder
basically.
at what point will Neuralink be able to make him walk again?
Well, that's what they're doing. That's what they're
That's the
trying.
goal,
Yeah.
right?
Well, they've done sight and hearing, I believe. Correct. I believe
Yeah.
he's restored someone's sight and their hearing.
That's crazy.
Oh.
That's crazy, dude.
I don't know about.
Um,
I haven't heard sight, but I know hearing is.
Yeah, I know they've done
Hearing
hearing.
is possible.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, the cochlear implant has already
Mhm.
been able to help people who'd never heard before hear.
You know, there's deaf people against that, right?
The cochlear implant.
Yeah, there's a movement of deaf people.
Those are
I
the
shouldn't,
left-
I shouldn't laugh when I say this, but
Wait, how
Why? They can't hear this.
They can't hear
how'd
me.
They hear about,
They can't
how'd
hear
they
me.
hear
That's not
about
true.
it?
That's not true. I have.
Oh, we got captions. Fuck.
We actually have a deaf person that
they're gonna read my
watches
captions.
the show.
I'll just whisper.
Wildflower on Twitter. She's she's actually cool as shit. So
Okay, there's a group
I'm
of
just
deaf
wondering
people
how
that
she
are
heard
against
about
cochlear
it. That's
implants.
all I want to know.
we have. Well, we you know, she was following me on Twitter, and then I have subtitles on my show, so she just watches with subtitles. Cool.
Mhm.
Too bad that she can't hear my silky smooth voice, but you know, whatever. That's all right.
It's probably a good thing she
Yeah.
can't hear my voice.
Yeah, your voice is annoying as fuck. AJ just sounds like every beer drunk white guy you've ever met.
Yeah, listen, dude. I've played in small pubs. We opened for Lita Ford, my band that is. Opened for Lita Ford, Saliva, Stephen Piercy. Yeah, so I've had a lot of conversations with dudes who just pounded down 6 Miller Lights, spitting in your face.
Sounds just like AJ, dude. They all sound just like AJ. The redheaded
Yes.
dude on TikTok that I post sometimes is like, "You're white." I don't know if you know this, but if
Oh
people-
yeah, that's my voice.
Yeah,
He's
it's
got my voice.
Exactly your voice, dude.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't know if you know this, but if somebody saw you walking, they'd be like, "There goes a white person."
Yeah,
Remember
that
that?
was weird.
Like it sounds just like you, dude. It's
That
so
was very
funny.
weird.
Quest Fanning, thanks for the $2 super chat. He said only Nikon can go to China. Klingon proverb. Abrogate D is another $2 super chat. He said, "I'll be there. Can't wait to meet you. The rest of you." He's talking about Portfest. Yeah, I'm hoping to make it there for sure. Well, we're getting to the end of this thing, man. We're at an hour 45 minutes. I know Ryan's about to turn into a pumpkin any minute, dude. But we love you to death, Kyle. You're great, man. We'll definitely bring you back on. Where can people find you, listen to you, support you, all those good things?
Yeah, dude. Well, I appreciate it. I got a long plug list, so I'm sorry, Ryan. You're going to be here for a few minutes longer.
It's all right.
No, I really enjoyed doing the show. Yeah, you could find me at Kyle Matovcik on Twitter. My last name is spelled down in that bottom corner right there, Matovcik. My podcast is called In Liberty and Health. I do that 2 times a week. Tomorrow, I promise, if you're listening right now, you'll want to go over to my channel and watch, because the guest that I'm going to have on tomorrow is going to blow all you guys' minds. And I know all you guys in that room right now know that, or know this guest. I'm sorry. The other podcast I do on my...
I scrolled back far enough to see who
Yeah,
it
okay,
was.
there you
yeah,
go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
banger guest.
Banger?
Yes, yes,
Banger.
absolutely. Yes. My other podcast I run with a few of your more recent guests, 5 till midnight, is on at 8 p.m. Eastern time every
And
Monday.
now
with
I have
Adam
now had
Nutter.
every single one of the people on that podcast on the show. So
Yes. Adam Nutter, Samuel Urban, Luke and Typer from Bite the Bullet. We do that Mondays. Sometimes we bring on another guest. Once again, Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern time. And then occasionally on Thursday nights, I do Cognitive Vigilance with Brandy and Ren. My band practice is normally tonight, so I haven't been on quite as much. And you can find my band at acommoncrown.com. We're going to be opening up for Hinder June 30th. And if you're in the Pennsylvania area, you can come check us out. We put on a large benefit called Rock for Life, where we give thousands of dollars to a kid who's sick and needs the help. So that's my plug list.
Awesome.
I think that's everything.
Hinder, huh?
Yes.
Gonna have to bust out the holy True Religions and the Affliction shirts, dude. Go check out some Hinder, man.
Yes.
Hell yeah, let's go, dude. Let's go.
Yeah,
Hell yeah, bro. We're drinking PBRs tonight, dog. You know what I mean?
No,
Is that
no,
Lips
I
of an
don't
Angel?
know what you mean.
Is that
Hinder? I think Hinder was the lead. That's the same lead singer that did the song with Amy Lee.
No, that's Seether.
Oh, Seether, yeah. I mixed.
Is
I don't know why I
Hinder
mixed
Lips
those
of an
two up.
Angel? Was it their first song?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, dude.
She's
I know
gonna
that.
use Man I Like It.
A
Yeah.
lot of these bands, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Like a lot of these bands, like Saliva, even and Seether and Hinder, and like all these, they're all the same band to me. Like a lot of the times I can't.
I get it.
I literally
Lead it
can't-
forward, thankfully.
Yeah, Lita Ford's different, but you know, I was a musician and played in like tons of bands and toured.
Yeah.
Right, but we were really into the like hardcore.
Yeah, well, that's like what I grew up.
Yeah, we had to. It was like we had to make fun of the new metal scene.
Yes,
but the truth is
understandable.
that like a lot of those new metal bands are just the same band to me. They all sound.
Yeah,
Dude,
no,
I'm
dude,
not, I mean that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But not
No,
your
dude, I'm
band.
right
I've
there
listened to your
with
band.
you.
You got a great band, dude. I like your
Thank
band
you,
a lot.
dude. Well, yeah, I appreciate that. The biggest show we ever played was opening for Steel Panther in September of 2020, which let's just say I had lots of tits that night, and yeah,
Steel Panther
it
will
was
do that
cool.
for sure, dude. I saw Steel Panther once at I want to
Nice.
say it was the Anaheim House of Blues.
Mhm.
Pretty sure that's
Yeah,
where.
they're fucking awesome live.
which is a fucking crazy spot, by the way. House of Blues, right?
Nice.
Like in Disneyland, pretty much. Like right, it's like in the downtown.
Oh, so you're okay. Well, okay. So if you had Steel Panther there in Disneyland in California, then you're grooming kids, except for like you're grooming them around tits.
Well, it was no. What it was is they like all the parents like put the kids to bed for the night, like in the Disneyland hotels, and then they like
Yeah.
went and took part in like drunken degeneracy at the House of Blues while their kids were sleeping in the hotels.
Man,
But anyways, Kyle, I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for coming on, dude. We'll definitely have you back on, and you're doing great things, man. And your voice is definitely needed in the movement, and we appreciate it, man.
thanks, dude.
All right, brother. All right, guys, another awesome episode of Break the Cycle. Kyle's great. Go follow all of his things. He's got a lot. He's got a lot of irons in the fire, dude. But he definitely go follow him on everything, Twitter and all the stuff he said. Go follow his band. Check him out. He's a great dude, man. He's a smart guy, and we need more people like him around. Plus, Fanning, thanks for the $2 super chat of just laughing faces. Benjamin Held, thanks for the $5 super chat. He says, increase your protein intake, eat Iowa meat. I will say, Iowa and Nebraska are the best steaks I've ever had in my life. It's not even close, dude. And I've been to Delmonico Steakhouse, and
Yeah,
I mean, like
we need
Emerald
our
Lagasse
boy
Steakhouse.
Paul to hook us up.
Well,
with
Paul's
some-
hooked me up, dude, a bunch of times.
Yeah.
I've had so much Paul's trunk
yeah.
meat in my
Yeah.
garage. Or
I
my,
think he's got bison.
yeah, he's got bison. He's got a
Okay.
bunch of shit again, so I gotta go.
Yeah.
I actually
Okay.
he was holding some stuff for me that I need to go get. But
Protein powder sales in Iowa. Whew,
yeah,
down.
yeah, no, you don't need protein powder, dude. Fuck that.
Just sits on the shelf.
Kevin Brady, $5 super chat. He said, fighting someone on PCP is morally devastating. They don't get KO'd. I had a guy try to break in when yeah, dude,
Jesus.
I have a feeling I could beat somebody on PCP.
Yeah.
To
556.
Is
Right,
that what
guys,
the whole
556.
Dave Chappelle's whole birdshot buckshot bit is about? The guy on PCP.
Oh Jesus!
What's the
Don't.
oh, I don't remember.
what? I don't remember what drug the guy is on,
No.
but
Ryan, you got anything
Yeah,
before we
didn't he
go?
have a bit about alternating rounds?
yeah,
It's
yeah, it's one of my favorite bits of his. It's masterfully crafted.
not smart to do in real life, guys. Don't do that.
No,
Yeah.
no,
Don't do
that's a terrible idea.
Yeah.
You got anything before we go, Ryan?
Yeah, people on Rumble, subscribe.
Subscribe to
Like.
the damn channel, man. Help us
Yeah.
up. I see several
been
hundred of you
growing.
watching on Rumble. If you're
Guys.
watching this on Rumble, just hit the follow button.
Hit
We
a
have shows-
button.
We have shows.
Yeah.
We have shows Tuesdays and Thursdays, typically. Tuesdays and Thursdays. Good content.
Mm-hmm.
We always have great guests like Kyle and other people on. We've had some really good. I've had NBA champions on the show. I've had famous Hollywood actors on the show. It's a good show.
We got to get that quadriplegic guy to subscribe with his mind.
Oh yeah,
That'd be
yeah,
cool.
subscribe with your mind.
Unfortunately, Death Crips has passed away. He was great though. He was
Crip Daddy.
AJ, you got anything before you go? Crip Daddy, yeah.
Let me leave you guys with one more thing. It's from Kim.com. This is cryptic. Ready? So the U.S. government has a backdoor in the CPU of Apple devices now. It can't be patched with a software update.
It's always had a backdoor. Apple's always had a
No. Remember the FBI tried to break in and they were like, fuck you, and they couldn't?
Was it Apple? No,
Yeah,
was
that was
Yeah, it
Apple.
was Apple.
Apple was the most secure
it was-
OS.
Oh.
Apple told them to go fuck themselves.
Okay.
Yep.
It was-
But now it cannot be patched with software update. Every owner of Apple device is affected. You have no security. U.S. spy agencies will have done the same with other CPUs.
Nice. Also, we are now posting, uploading these to the audio link at the night of the show. So
Yes.
after the show, this will be uploaded directly to the RSS feed, and you guys will get it on all the podcast apps. If you listen to the show, go subscribe to the Rumble or the YouTube, just to help us out with the algorithm. The more followers we have, the better we do. The more sponsors we get, the more we can bring people in.
And
on
sharing the show
airplanes.
helps a ton.
Yeah, and sharing the show and all that good stuff too. If you guys do that, lots of you guys watch. We see lots of you guys watching. So
Yeah,
just
and commenting
Yeah.
especially on YouTube, helps the algorithm a ton.
yeah,
The
when
more
you guys
engagement
are
we can
going
have.
when you guys are going off in the live chat, it helps us out a lot. All right, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. It's been a great Thursday. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. I'll see you on Tuesday, working on a dope show for Tuesday. I'm not even going to tell these guys. I'm not going to tell anybody who I'm working on for Tuesday, but it's going to be a good show.
Cool.
I don't even think I'm going to tell AJ or Ryan who's coming on the show anymore.
I have to make the
Nah, don't care.
thumbnail, you dumbass.
Oops, sorry, I started playing. Started playing the intro. I'm not going to tell you guys anymore. I'm not going to tell you guys anymore because you guys might just not show up.
My kid had a fever of 102,
I'm not going anymore.
and I still.
Oh, but when my kids are a fever of 102, you still show up.
How
It
dare you
was,
take
it
care
was
of
the
your kid,
first
Ryan?
time my kid had a fever.
We probably gave your kid a fever, to be honest. You bringing your child over here where we have a literal fucking petri dish of sick kids all the time probably gave your kid a fever. No doubt about it, dude. Just to be honest. But your kid will get a good immune system hanging out over here. I know my kids are gonna be healthy ass adults, dude, because they're sick all the fucking time, dude. I always see these women on. Kids aren't supposed to be sick all the time. Like, you're supposed to get sick a lot when you're a kid. So
Yeah.
you don't get sick a lot when you're a fucking adult. You dumb shit. That's
Yep.
how that bacteria
dirt.
and viruses work, dude. Like,
Run outside and eat dirt.
yeah, dude. Fuck, these people are idiots. Anyways, I love you guys to death. I'll see you on Tuesday. Have a good weekend. Until then, don't forget to break the cycle.
Due to legal reasons, I just have to explain. The lyrics of my last song may seem to contain a violent call to action in the verse and refrain, but I just meant it in Minecraft. The helicopter part was in reference to GTA 5 and the things you do. So any violence you commit, I am not an excuse, because I just meant it in Minecraft. But Chipper is my friend and he's constantly cold. Accusations of incitement getting totally old. Make your own choices, yeah, you have control, because I just meant it in Minecraft. Obviously I would never advocate force, unless there's due process and a trial, of course. And if you're convicted, we will make you a corpse in Minecraft, just in Minecraft. Nothing I mean, you know it. No product dinners, cause it closed for COVID.